2001 season, ranked 8th in the country and playing host to the Syracuse Orangemen. And welcome to Knoxville. I'm Dave Barnett. I'm joined today by Mike Golick, Bill Curry, and in a moment, Michelle Tafoya. This has been a short but very memorable series between these two. They've only played twice previously, and the last time was the opener of the '98 season for Tennessee, and it almost cost them what became a 13-0 national championship season. They had to survive Donovan McNabb over and over. Took a last-play field goal to win at the Carrier Dome, 34-33. Now, Mike, today, regardless of whatever the final score is, this part will be memorable. We're going to see at least two of maybe the three best defensive linemen in the country.
Now we're talking about it. We're going to defense. We're going to the real athletes of the team. And both Tennessee and Syracuse had two of the finest. Different sizes, and they do it a different way, but both very effective. John Henderson, the D tackle from Tennessee, 6'7", 290 pounds. He collapses the pocket with his leverage and quickness and long arms. Dwight Freeney, 6'4", 250 pounds. He knows how to come around the corner. You'll also see him lined up at linebacker as well. They want to use him at as many spots as possible to try and free him up. But, Bill, I certainly know Mr. Freeney and his teammates will have a lot more to contend with than just the volunteer players.
Oh, indeed they will. In 1983, we brought our Georgia Tech team down here to play. I heard a kind of a raspy voice delivering the invocation, so I asked the security man who he was, and he said, "That's Reggie. He prays too." Reggie White was here to pray and to play. I knew we were in trouble. Well, Syracuse is not going to have to deal with a minister of defense today, but they are going to have to deal with an aroused Tennessee team and 107,595 of their closest friends here today. David?
Bill Curry, with 4 decades of experience inside Neyland Stadium, the pride of the Southland Band, forming the traditional T as the 2001 version of the Tennessee Volunteers readies to make their first appearance on the field inside Neyland Stadium. And as they wait for the Orangemen to precede them onto the field, Fulmer has them gathered. Starting the year ranked number 8 in the country. Last year, subpar by their standards. An 8-win, 4-loss season, ending with a defeat at the Cotton Bowl to Kansas State. The team parts and the Volunteers are greeted for the first time in 2001. Kickoff coming up right now to the studio, and we welcome Reese David.
All right, Dave, the Volunteer Navy obviously out in full force, and as they say down in Tennessee, it's football time in Tennessee. Glad to be joined by Mark May. We've got a great one coming up. We're going to be here in the studio to keep you up to date on all of the games going on right now. We'll cut in with highlights, get you the latest scores. Michigan in action against Miami of Ohio. Oklahoma struggling a little bit against Air Force so far, and Colorado's jumped on top of Colorado State. But in our game, Syracuse and Tennessee, you heard the guys talk about the great defensive linemen. Offensively, Tennessee in that rebuilding mode last year, and it kind of came together late in the season.
They definitely did, and it was their quarterback, Casey Clausen. He's a sophomore this year. Last year, he threw 15 touchdown passes, and down the stretch, in their last 6 regular season games, they were undefeated, 12 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and as a freshman, he broke Peyton Manning's touchdown pass record of 15. Don't forget about this young man as a quarterback, because he's not going to only have a big game tonight, he's going to have a big year. And let's not forget, freshman running back, Jabari Davis, he's a name that you're going to hear a lot about.
If you touch the hem of the garment of Peyton Manning in Tennessee, you are revered, and Clausen is already. He's got Kelly Washington, a new weapon. We'll see how that goes. The Iceman, they call him. Ice water in his veins, and he looks a little like Val Kilmer, getting ready to lead the Big Orange against the Orangemen in a matter of moments.
Reactor 3 at critical mass.
Core temperature still rising.
Close the flow channels. Activate the hydrogen recombiners.
Meltdown.
Do it.
In 10 seconds.
Are you new to the team?
Well, actually, I'm with the tour group. But I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
Stay
Stay smart. Stay at a Holiday Inn Express.
Wendy's makes late nights great nights, serving up your favorites.
Hello? Get a Wendy's Classic half-pound double with cheese, even late, because our pickup window's open late.
A big Wendy's thank you goes out to the man in the red minivan.
In the battle against athlete's foot, you gotta have, boom, tough-actin Tinactin. Tinactin pump spray is clinically proven to stop the severe itching and burning of athlete's foot. Tinactin is so tough it even prevents athlete's foot. So get, boom, tough-actin Tinactin.
ESPN2's presentation of college football is brought to you by Holiday Inn Express, the smart choice for travelers who want to stay smart. And by Nortel Networks. We're building the new high-performance internet.
As always inside Neyland Stadium, everywhere you look, all you see is Tennessee orange as the 8th ranked Vols prepare to open their 2001 season and host the Syracuse Orangemen. Let's welcome the 4th member of our crew on the sidelines for us this afternoon, Michelle Tafoya.
Well, Dave, as you said, Tennessee went 8-4 last year, and around here, that's a down year. So they are hoping to rebound behind sophomore quarterback Casey Clausen. Now, Clausen is a Southern California kid, grew up the son of a high school coach, but he wanted to play college ball in the Southeastern Conference environment. And so far, this environment has agreed with him nicely. Last year, he broke Peyton Manning's freshman records for touchdown passes and passing yardage. So that alone has raised the expectations about him. He told me he's added about 10 pounds to his frame, but that his biggest improvement has come in his understanding of the offensive game. But still, with those high expectations, he said the advice he's going to take to heart is what his dad, the high school football coach, told him a few weeks ago when he said, son, just shut up and play.
Always good advice, isn't it?
You know, my dad used to tell me that. He used to just leave out the, my dad used to leave out the and play part. You know, just kind of shut up.
Could we get him to join our crew?
Tennessee wins the toss and defers. Syracuse waiting for the opening kick from Dustin Colquitt. And they have Maurice Jackson and James Mungro back deep. Very high kick. Jackson brings it from the 4. And a very short return it is of only 9 yards as Tad Golden has the tackle for the Volunteers. And now Troy Nunes, who showed his toughness in the kickoff classic at the Meadowlands last week, twice knocked out of the game by Georgia Tech, but twice returned. And the junior from Butler, Pennsylvania, ended up with a career-high 19 out of 32. Mungro, the senior tailback with Kyle Johnson, now a graduate student back after multiple injuries. Jackson, Campbell, and Manley form the receiving crew for Nunes. Starting from the 12 in the offset eye. And the first carry on the ground will lose a yard for Mungro. And he says hello to the Tennessee defense led by the middle linebacker, Dominique Stevenson. The offensive front for the Orangemen. Alexander, O'Connor, Romeo Burton, and Deloach. 4 seniors up there. And Romeo is the sophomore and arguably the best defensive line in the country right here.
Absolutely. We talked about Henderson in the open. Watch out for Will Overstreet. He knows how to take advantage of all the attention going to Mr. Henderson.
They give Mungro the line of scrimmage. So 2nd and 10. Motion from Jackson. A little more room up the middle this time, and it'll be 3rd down. The linebacking core for Tennessee. We've already seen Stevenson, Moore, and Whiteside.
And Stevenson is the leader. They're counting on him to be the Al Wilson of this unit, to provide the great leadership and a whole lot of tackles.
Pretty experienced secondary with Lott and Gaines the corners, and Battle and Baker the starting safety. The only new starter is Battle, junior college transfer from LA Valley College. With 3 on the pattern now. Nunes well protected, and the throw is incomplete. Nearest man to it was David Tyree. Quick 3 and out turned in by the Tennessee defense.
Boy, that's certainly something you don't want to hear if you're on Syracuse, is this crowd staying in the game early like they are. Great 3-and-out by this defense. Syracuse struggled last week offensively, and they need to get it in gear early in this game.
There has been a switch in the kicking roles after last week. Justin Sujansky, a freshman, is going to handle the placements. And Mike Schaefer concentrates on punting and kicking off. And Tennessee, after the return by Eric Parker, is going to start off in terrific field position. The punt only 32. Parker brings it back 11. And the sophomore starter and quarterback out of Northridge, California, Casey Clausen, as we saw, broke Peyton Manning's freshman records last year. Won every start, all 6 of them, during the regular season. It is Travis Stevens' turn after backing up Jamal Lewis and Travis Hendry most of his career. He's now the tailback. Bartholomew, the fullback. As always, great speed at the wideouts with Stallworth, Parker, and the tight end, Finlayson. From the 37, going for it right away, and it is caught for a touchdown by Stallworth, 37 yards. Wonder if Peyton Manning ever threw a touchdown pass on his first pass of the season.
I don't know if he ever did that, but I'll tell you, if this kid keeps throwing like that, they won't make him forget Peyton, but they sure will remember him.
Alex Walls, the top kicker probably in the SEC this year. One of the top last year, makes it 7-0. Stallworth caught 5 of Tennessee's 6 longest catches last year, and he starts 2001 scoring from 37 on the season's first snap.
Now that's really interesting. So where's the key? This is really gonna hurt.
Hannibal, rent or buy it today.
What I love about living down here is the surf, the sand, the sun. Just like to have fun and go around and goof off.
Meet the girls down here. You gotta have muscles, good physique, nothing that I have. Come down to the beach, play volleyball.
Hanging out with your friends, having fun, surfing.
I have a lot of girlfriends that I've had for many years. We've surfed together. We've been surfing since we were 9, all down here at the same beach.
Surf drip, the worst thing ever invented. Just hanging out with friends. That's paradise.
Let's lose that appendix.
Mother, I'm home. Knife a beat me spicy butterfly. I gotta get out of here.
What happened to his friendship?
Eat me.
I'll break.
This is gonna be ugly.
Yeah, real ugly.
Don't be a victim of bitter beer. Drink Keystone. America's never bitter beer.
Now that's a nice rack.
Keystone, always smooth, never bitter.
Remember, 21 means 21.
Freeze! Officer Carrot Top here with my partner. Now, if you're gonna make a collect call, pick up the phone and dial down the center with 1-800-CALLATT. It's free for you and cheap for them.
Save big bucks on every call. Just dial 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls.
One play, 7-0 Tennessee. Pretty much a called shot by Casey Clausen.
I'm telling you, he sat right there, looked us in the eye, and said, yeah, they told me this year if I get zero coverage where they got press man, I can put it up anytime I want to. He didn't wait long, did he? That's the way a quarterback is supposed to think.
Like getting the keys to the car, huh?
Oh, man. Keys to the Ferrari in this case.
Well, not even 2 minutes ago, Dustin Colquitt had the opening kick. And this time Jackson returns from the 8. And plenty of room. Only Colquitt there, and he slows him down long enough to get help at the 45. 37-yard return by Maurice Jackson, and a big difference from that first start for Syracuse.
And this is what Casey saw when he looked out. A little jiggle, a marvelous route by Stallworth. That's not nearly as easy as it looks. That's hours and hours of practice in the summer. The coaching staff's counting on Stallworth to be the man this year, and he's off to the right kind of start.
Well, first off, when you're in that press coverage, Ford's got to get his hands on the receiver if you're going to go out and play tight man.
Orangeman started with a couple on the wing, now shifting to the right side. They get blockers out there for Mungro, who's tripped up right as he's about to turn the corner. And again, a tackle by Dominique Stevenson. Oklahoma and Air Force underway. Reese Davis, an update.
Dave, Oklahoma's offense has sputtered. You remember against North Carolina, their last 9 possessions ended with punts, but finally they get it going. Quentin Griffin picking his way beautifully. It's going to stretch for the pylon. Didn't quite get it in there, but the Sooners would pound it in, and they're on top by a touchdown late in the first.
Air Force gets him at a good time. Is there a good time? Well, if there's going to be, you get him at home at least.
Coming off the big win, Oklahoma is, yeah.
Mungro with a first down. 2 nice holes. And the senior tailback ridden down after a gain of 10 by Eddie Moore.
Well, this is certainly what Syracuse has to get going. Last week against Georgia Tech, 59 yards rushing on 26 carries, but 30 of those came on 1 carry, so really only had 29 yards on 25 carries. Opening up this running game, Bill, for Syracuse, they have that option. The pass could really open up their offense.
And they are running at the strength of Tennessee's defense, John Henderson.
Mongro's numbers against Georgia Tech. Syracuse, nothing if they're not experienced offensively. They start 9 seniors. Again, Mungro. And hello, Mr. Henderson.
John said, I don't like this stuff more than once. I'll let y'all run one, and I'm going to take over now.
Boy, he's something else. You know, he can hit the gaps with those long arms here. He ends up playing man up right in the middle of the screen here. He's just going to play man up. He's not blowing a gap here. He's just playing in front of his man, gets the hands out. Look at the extension on the hands. That's the key for a defensive lineman. Extend those arms, and when you're 6'7", you can really push that offensive lineman away, makes you get away easily.
Outland Trophy winner as a junior. SEC leader, 12 sacks, and equally dangerous against the run as he just showed. Loss of 1. And the pitch on 2nd and 11. Mungro with the flag down, hurdles head over heels to the 39. Tackle by Jabari Greer. We'll wait for the indication from Jack Kramer. This is a Big East officiating crew.
I believe it's going to be on Campbell for blocking back toward the ball below the waist. That's what it is.
Right.
Malik Campbell, number 10, he knows it. You got to stay up if you're coming back toward the ball. This is to protect the defender's knees. It's a very good rule, and it's a standard thing. And Malik Campbell, being a veteran, should be able to know better. There he is right there. He's going below the waist. He touches that knee, and that's a penalty.
And that's a good rule, too. That's very dangerous. A receiver coming down in toward the linebacker since Hudson going low. Coach B is saying, just hit him in the chest, hit him in the face, hit him in the mouth, but don't hit him in the knees.
And he said, Coach, did you see that guy? No, he didn't say that.
I think he just said, yes, sir.
This is the thing that's baffling the Syracuse staff. Their squad prepared so well. This is a very strong, fundamental coaching staff, and they're doing little fundamental things incorrectly, and it's costing them. First game, and now again in this one.
With the mark off, they now look at 2nd and 23. They need the 32 of the balls. And under some pressure, Mungro takes the swing pass at least back into Tennessee territory and ridden out at the 49-yard line by Rashad Baker, the free safety.
When you're a big old hog offensive lineman like number 76, Sean O'Connor, you just dream of the day you can get out in front on a screen and just lead this guy. Here he comes from the right guard. Now, Sean, you run through the defender. Run, now, run. Run through. Don't run for a touchdown, son. You don't have the ball. Gracious. Again, a fundamental thing.
3rd and 17. And Nunes out of the shotgun. Plenty of time, steps up, throws a strike. This is going to be very close for the first down as Johnny Morant, sophomore out of Parsippany, New Jersey, has 16 yards. I think he's just short.
Pass complete to Morant.
Again with the tackle.
Nice pass by Nunes, getting the ball down the field. They were in an obvious passing situation, something they don't want to have to be in. Good protection, good job by Nunes. And they're short. I guarantee you they're going to go for it. And Dave, I'm sure you'll tell them why with the kickers. I handle this replay. Good job in the pocket. Good zip on the ball. Leading the receiver up a little bit out of the defender's way. Turn it up the field, try, but he ends up about a yard short.
Yeah, the kicking situation, to put it mildly, in flux this week. Mike Schaefer, 7 of 21 last year and last week. No longer will hand it to face this. This would have been about a 50-yarder. Instead, on 4th and 1, they run Nunes on the option keeper. And Nunes had only the strong safety Julian Battle preventing a touchdown. The fumble may have been after he was already out of bounds. I think they mark him out at the 15. A gain of 19 yards as Nunes runs the option.
I really like Troy Nunes. I really do. Tennessee lines up in a Bears defense, meaning they're covering both guards and the center. It's the old 46 defense. Mike Golick was the nose guard. You can see this group right in here in the middle, and that's the reason it's called. The Bears made it popular, and the option is unstoppable on that defense. It's an automatic. Nunes went to it after he got lit up last week. You might wonder if he'd want to run that thing, but he didn't hesitate for a second. Nice play.
And Sean O'Connor, starting guard from Morristown, New Jersey. George DeLeon, the offensive coordinator, says this is the heart and soul of our offensive line. 3-year starter. And they check on him with 9:16 to go in the first quarter. Tennessee 7-0.
Richer, creamier, Killian's Irish Red. One look says a lot.
This fall, he wants to be a musketeer. Experience one of the greatest stories ever told, as you've never seen it before. You're quite good. A timeless classic is completely reimagined with fight choreography by Hong Kong legend Yen Yen Zhang.
All for one!
The Musketeer, rated PG-13 at theaters Friday.
Hey, man. Where have you been?
The Outback.
In the Outback, huh? Well, you missed a great game.
No, I saw it there.
In the Outback.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good reception?
It's great. They're very friendly, too.
You see any wildlife?
Well, the big blooming onions are pretty wild.
And the food?
We're talking about the food.
A great night out that feels like a holiday. Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
College football Saturday. Outland Trophy winner John Henderson and the Vols battle the Cuse. Syracuse, Tennessee, 4 o'clock Saturday on ESPN.
Well, they worked on Sean O'Connor's nose for just a couple of moments, and then he got up, jogged off, and with the helmet back on, apparently won't be out long. Eric Kalyanides has replaced him for 1st and 10 Orangemen at the Tennessee 15. Motion from Tyree. And out of the offset eye, another toss sweep from Mungrove. And he squeezes out 6 yards, most of it after contact.
I had serious questions, Mike, about whether Syracuse could move the ball at all on this Tennessee defense, and I believe they've already answered them. They've thrown and caught. They've executed the option against the Bears defense, and now they're run the ball. Nice 7-yard gain on first down.
And they've hit an inside run and an outside run a little bit to stretch the defense. Mungrove just picking the hole, and he was stopped at the line and pulled out 6 yards. Great options at 2nd and 4.
You saw O'Connor back in. They fixed up the bloody nose, and he only missed a play. Let's send it down to Michelle.
Well, guys, coming into this game, Phil Fulmer said Syracuse had an advantage of having played one game already. Sometimes the most improvement from game 1 to game 2s. That's where you see it in the season, and I'll finish that up after the play, Dave.
Noon's worried, yeah, but Tennessee has seen our offseason changes. And we don't know what their offseason surprises are going to be. He said probably if there's an advantage, it's for the ball.
Tight end move. The little things that just kill Syracuse on offense a week ago, same thing. Manley jerking in his stance. They're veteran players.
Okay.
They're not intimidated by this stuff. Shouldn't be making these mistakes.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Tight end Graham Manley. Paul Pasqualoni, his 11th year. Biggest win total in Big East history, 48. 2 penalties already.
8 last week.
Never a good time. This is really a bad time. As they back up and snap it at the 14-yard line. Option went off the back of the fullback. And the scramble at the 18-yard line is won by Tennessee. The Volunteers get the recovery.
Well, one way to defend the option is to take the options away, and that's exactly what number 37, Eddie Moore, did. The strong side linebacker, he came flying down the line and forced Noons to pitch right away so quickly, Mungro wasn't ready for it. And I believe it went off the fullback's back before it even got to Mungro. You're going to see from the left side of your screen, here he comes, flying in. He's forcing the option. It hits Kyle Johnson in the back. Mungro tries to scoop it up, trying to make a play. They always teach you fall on the ball, but Billy, he had some room around him. He tried to pick it up to make a play. Good job by Moore forcing that pitch.
And a poor pitch by Noons, the first mistake by the quarterback, right off the fullback's back. Not on the pitch course for his tailback.
Julian Battle telling them all about the recovery. The mistakes continue despite the experience offensively for Syracuse. And now already up 7-0. Second play from scrimmage. Clausen now 2 for 2 as they unveil a prize 21-year-old freshman. Fresh from the Florida Marlins minor league system. That's Kelly Washington. Great size at 6'4", 225, and terrific speed. Washington also listed at second-team quarterback, but they said yesterday he'd see some time at wideout before we saw any time at quarterback if he did indeed get any snaps behind center today.
Well, Philip Fulmer is so excited about him, and he really challenged Kelly. I was at practice with Philip on Thursday, and he said he's been holding his hamstring for about a week and a half, and I told him, if you don't practice hard today, you're not playing. But he ran like a gazelle. And here he is, out here at X.
Offensive coordinator for the Vols, Randy Sanders, 13th year on the Tennessee staff, his third in charge of the offense. 5 seconds added to the game clock.
I'll tell you what, that last play, Dante Stallworth, who caught the 37-yard touchdown pass, had Will Ford up on him again, and he was clapping and yelling to Clausen, look, he's doing it again, he's doing it again, let's call the same play. But Clausen went the other way, said, I'm going to spread the wealth around.
First down, 3 wideouts right side. And they run it for Stallworth. He's got plenty of room. And a nice clearing block out front by Tony Brown. Now let's find out what's happening with Colorado off their upset loss to Fresno State. Into the studio.
And Dave taking on Colorado State. The Rams have won the last 2 years. DJ Bush making the start, and he's got a pick 6 courtesy of Donald Strickland. He'll take it in and give the Buffs a quick lead. Came 14-0 before Bush gets settled down, finds Joel Dressen, and got a 14-7 game in the second.
All right, first college game at brand new Invesco Field in Denver. Tennessee has seen 3 out of 3 for 62 yards and a touchdown by Casey Clausen. They just keep tossing this one, and that's almost a backwards pass. Going in the direction of Stallworth and his first incompletion.
Well, it's a nice job by Josh Thomas. The reason it looked like a backward pass is because Thomas batted it. He's 6'7". He got those big hands up. That's another nice gain if he doesn't get to make that play. Mike, you guys, you D linemen really work on that, don't you? When you see the ball thrown, you've got to get those hands up quick.
If you're not getting to the quarterback, you got to get in the line of sight and get those time that jump.
Here's Josh, sophomore defensive end. Orchard Park, New York. Lawson with total freedom come to the line and make a change this year. And finally, Travis Stevens. Travis Stevens. He leans forward for 5, brought down by Maurice McLean, the backup strong safety. And he has waited his turn, hasn't he? Stevens played on that '98 national championship team, backing up Lewis, but not in the Fiesta Bowl victory over Florida State. After Lewis, it was Travis Henry who had 1,300+ yards last year. Now, as a senior, Travis Stevens, finally the feature back.
Well, he had 4 starts in that '98 season. I'm sure he thought he was the back of the future there, but he's the definition of waited his turn right now. We've got 1 year to do it.
It's going to be 3rd and 5. They come right after Clausen, felt the pressure, stepped up, and now fires it, but Stallworth not looking for the ball, instead looking to throw a downfield block on Keon Walker, and a flag down after the throw.
Stallworth thought he had turned it up and he was going to run with it. Casey's smart enough to know that he's not going to win any foot races, so he just pulls up and he's going to hit his speedster, but he hit him in the back. Nice to have a receiver that'll do that for you, though.
Well, that was Casey Clausen's first look at Dwight Freeney up close and personal, and he shook him pretty well.
Gets the offense. The 10-yard penalty, the previous spot. Repeat, 3rd down.
Dwight Freeney, you'll see him all over the place. He doesn't get touched here. Well, I tell you what, I'm sure they don't want that to happen a lot, but Clausen does a nice job stepping inside him. Freeney's used to those free runs and just barreling into the quarterback. You might have to break down a little bit on Mr. Clausen.
Those 13 sacks last year in only 7 games. He had 2 in the opener against Georgia Tech. Good for at least a couple almost every game. And a real treat to see him and Henderson. Lawson overthrown as he tried to go deep, and again had a receiver wide open. Eric Parker this time. First play from scrimmage. It worked to Dante Stallworth this time. Overthrown by Clausen.
What the Tennessee coaching staff, most notably Randy Sanders, knows right now is that the corners cannot run with his Tennessee wide receivers, and that's fairly typical for Tennessee. They'll be putting it up a bunch.
On the punt for the first time, Dustin Colquitt. Redshirt freshman from here in Knoxville, part of the great punting legacy at the University of Tennessee. And that one sailing over Malik Campbell for a touchback. Midway in the first quarter, Tennessee, after scoring on the first play from scrimmage, up 7-0.
The bow. Resistance becomes strength. Becomes power. The power to change and reshape your entire body. This is Bowflex, an entire gem-in-one easy-to-use machine. So powerful, it delivers over 60 Health Club quality exercises with up to 410 pounds of resistance in any room in your home. Strength training with Bowflex is so effective that we guarantee you'll get the results you want in 6 weeks or less. One simple workout. 20 minutes a day, 3 days a week. Bowflex is real. The results are real. And you can own one with no money down and payments as low as $33 per month. Call right now for a free video and brochure. Bowflex, the power is yours.
They are Saturday soldiers fighting for every touchdown. Be part of the action with ESPN Game Plan only on pay-per-view. It's maximum college football with over 100 extra games you can't see anywhere else. Catch all the top conferences. To order, call your local cable operator, DirecTV, or Dish Network.
College football Saturday. Blazing through and Deshaun Foster leads UCLA against a Crimson Tide that's physical, fast, and tough on D. UCLA, Alabama, 7:45 tonight on ESPN.
7-0 Tennessee. Syracuse will have it for their 3rd possession. Getting on the 20. Last possession, they threatened And then the same thing that Syracuse fans have seen last couple of years from Troy Nunes. Good play after good play, followed up by horrible play. That pitch off the back of the blocking fullback, Kyle Johnson.
Just something you cannot do. It's one of those inexcusable mistakes by a quarterback that practices the option every day.
And they felt after off-season work that what they'd see from Nunes this year was not only good decisions before the snap to get things organized, get them into the right play, but good decisions after the snap as well. More interceptions than touchdowns last year.
He just got to become consistent. Tennessee got ripped by the option in the Cotton Bowl. I mean, Kansas State just lit them up with the option. You know Syracuse is going to use it, but you got to know your quarterback's going to pitch it to the right place.
They fake the shotgun draw, quarterback keeper all the way for a good gain of 12 yards for Nunes. And down we go to Michelle Tafoya.
Oh, Dave, pretty impressive that Syracuse just did that, considering they lost one of their offensive linemen. Sean O'Connor, while the offense was on the bench, began to complain of headaches. Remember that hit he took just a while ago that gave him the bloody nose and left him stunned for a little bit? Came to the sideline, started to complain of headaches, and trainer Tim Neal tells me he is done for the day. They've taken him to the locker room, check on his condition, and he is out of this game.
All right, one of their 4 senior offensive linemen out. Junior Eric Kalyanides is now at left guard. Nunes had time until again the Tennessee rush gets to him, and it's Demetrin Veal's first sack as of all, just up from Cerritos Junior College. And let's check in.
All right, Dave. Mac in the Big Ten. Could the Mac be getting them again? Miami, Ohio, and Michigan. Ben Roethlisberger to the academic All-America, Eddie Tillett, and it's 10-6 after the missed extra point.
So much offense gone from Michigan. Drew Henson, Anthony Thomas, David Terrell, all into Richie, one sport and another. Play clock at 4 as Nunes will have to roll. Green pass is caught. And the first-time Diamond Ferry, sophomore out of Everett, Massachusetts, handles it. Dominique Stevenson ranges from the middle linebacker spot to the sideline to knock him out.
I'll tell you what, they made something out of nothing there. They were going to go screen left, but Will Overstreet, the right defensive end, read it for Tennessee, broke off of his rush, took that away, forced Nunes to come to his right, and they made a little bit out of what would have been absolutely nothing. Third and long, though, another obvious passing situation.
They're down in 9. No blitz, just the front 4 rushing. Nunes steps up and underthrown maybe. Graham Manley, the tight end, with the dive. It ought to have been underthrown. He seems more upset that he didn't catch it.
You got to make that catch. Graham Manley, a senior tight end, has got to be the sure-handed guy in the middle that bails his quarterback out when he doesn't make an absolutely perfect throw. Syracuse is very much in this game, but they're going to have to stop shooting themselves in the foot to get something going offensively.
Schaefer set to kick it away to Eric Parker, with leading punt returner in Tennessee history. Number 24 would have been a good one to fair catch, as it turned out. As J.R. Johnson, special teams stalwart, hits it after 43 yards. Mike Schaefer punt.
It'll be first.
Tonight, 7:45 Eastern on ESPN. UCLA looking to improve upon last year. The Tuscaloosa, 1,000-yard back to Sean Foster leads them in against Freddie Millens. And the Alabama Crimson Tide, under new head coach Dennis Franchione, hoping to revitalize them after their 3-8 disappointment a year ago. Coverage begins. College Game Day scoreboard, 7 Eastern. Clausen with the deep out a little bit high for Stallworth and trying the one-handed catch. From the first play on, Willie Ford knows what faces him.
Bill, I want to go back to the game Dave talked about. What's going through Dennis Franchione's mind now? When you go into your first game as coach at Alabama, now Dennis doing the same thing, trying to turn that program around a little bit.
Well, you just hope the guys will play hard, and the thing that Dennis is going to find out tonight is that they will, and that Freddie Mullins is a talent, and I think it's going to go well for the Crimson Tide. I think it'll be a great game.
Orangeman fakes the blitz. This is swung out, and second time they find Kelly Washington. He's chased down by the free safety Quentin Harris. Washington, 21, a 37-inch leaper, sub 4.5 speed, terrific athlete. They've already figured out 2 ways to get it to him.
And Quentin Harris has figured it out too. When he comes on the field, they're identifying him, and Quentin's been the leader back there in the secondary. Nice tackle inside out.
A chance for Syracuse to force a 3 and out. On 3rd and long, they need 7. Lawson will overthrow Stallworth. The other number 4 had it, Quentin Harris, and then lost it, but they will give him possession for the interception.
Oh man, they baited him that time. They baited him. They made it look like a zero coverage with no free safety. Quentin Harris dropped back there out of nowhere. Casey overthrew it a little bit, and the wrong number 4 came up with it. Beautiful veteran play by Harris.
Well, I tell you what, Casey Clausen was like a big old night crawler on a hook that time, wasn't it? Looks out to the top here. You see that's the coverage he sees. But here he is coming right over the top is Harris. He baited. He was even to the far side of the field away from the middle. Clausen thought he had it all the way again. And Harris just took a beeline toward the play.
4-year starter, great experience. They call him the general in the secondary, and the takeaway, giving it back to Syracuse, and they run the reverse for Maurice Jackson. Kalianides out front with a lead block, and Jackson will get 13 yards before Battle knocks it out.
Now, Mike, somebody had contained responsibility back there on the backside for Tennessee and forgot all about that.
It's a boy, that's a hard thing, Bill. When you're down there and you're crashing, you see the play going away. You want to get into that play. You want to get that backside hit and bust somebody that's not looking at you. All of a sudden, you're going, uh-oh, I'm supposed to be out there where that guy's running.
Bad feeling.
Into Tennessee territory, 1st and 10 to 47-yard line. And Mungrove with the flag down, thrown to the secondary. Follows the pile for about 4.
Mungrove on the carry. Dominic Stevenson on the tackle.
And I think it favors Syracuse to this point is the difference in plays. I see Tennessee running a lot of the same plays over and over again, and they haven't had much success. And you're seeing Syracuse kind of mixing it up a little bit. Option, pass outside, pass inside, outside running game, inside running game. A little more diversity by Syracuse offense.
Face mask on the defense. Automatic first down.
5-yarder, not a personal foul.
5-yarder, not a personal foul. But Mike, George DeLeon, the offensive coordinator for Syracuse, is the definition of diverse play calling. He has so many series. He said last week we didn't get to run all our stuff because we didn't have enough plays. We only had 64 plays. He's got more than that.
So from the 37. Jackson just into your picture in motion. And the fake to Mungrove. Noon's going deep for Jackson. Interception by Rashad Baker.
Well, the Tennessee secondary said if you can do it to our quarterback, we can do it to yours. He's going to say, Coach, I never saw him. Rashad Baker was laying in the weeds. In some states, there's a law against lurking and lying in wait. Here's Baker way over here. He just hangs in there. He's free. His man goes to the outside. That frees him up, and he's like a robber in the middle. A beautiful catch by Baker.
Bill, this looks like Charles Woodson vintage Heisman.
It does. It's exactly like Woodson at Michigan State.
Wow. So Tennessee from their 9. And Stevens breaks a couple tackles just to reach the line of scrimmage.
Now, Mike, there's some hitting going on with the big fellas up front.
Boy, there really are, and there really is, I should say. And I want to see Tennessee mix it up. They try an inside run there. Probably going to pass here. I'm wondering what they're going to do. Is it going to be the same little hitch to Stallworth or to Washington, or you're going to try deep downfield. Need some diversity.
Yeah, Christian Ferrara has sat in there, number 93. Mark Holzman, 53. Louis Gashman, 99. Stout job in the middle of that along with that outstanding middle linebacker, Clifton Smith, number 9.
Under 3 minutes first quarter. Lots of room left side for Stevens in a foot race with Harris. And knocked out by Keon Walker. 39 yards.
That's on Dwight Freeney, Mike.
Absolutely right. Reggie Coleman, number 71, the left tackle, got the block on Dwight Freeney. Took him to the outside. Freeney, you'll see, playing the right defensive end position. Coleman will come out on him, gets his hands on him, gets a good hold of him. And I tell you what, you get your hands on the inside like that, Bill, the rest will never call it.
Yeah, we had a piece of that shirt, too.
Yes, he did.
Stevens, newlywed, married Tanisha June 2nd. Seemed to agree with it. First carry for Will Bartholomew, the fullback. And let's send it down to Michelle.
Well, you guys, Travis Stevens so anxious to prove that he's durable this season, but offensive coordinator Randy Sanders isn't convinced. However, Phil Fulmer said he might give us more big plays than Travis Henry, just not as many every down plays, and I'd say that was a big play.
39 yards, that counts as a very big play.
That's going to count. We chalked that up in the big play column.
That's farther than you ran, Golick, in your career.
I'll tell you what, I need a lot of oxygen after running like that, or food, one of the two.
You would know what to do first.
3-yard pickup by Bartholomew. And he gets it again. Gets another 2 or 3. Let's check in on Cal, Illinois. Reese Davis.
All right, Dave, Illinois and Cal, and you know Illinois, they've got Brandon Lloyd back on the outside. They've got their tailbacks back, including Antonio Harris. He has scored 3 touchdowns today in the Illini, laying it on the Bears, 24-0.
Oh, your sturdy Golden Bears, Michelle.
Michelle, I hope Michelle didn't hear that.
Michelle, did you hear that?
I heard it, and
the
I knew you'd comment.
The Sturdies are taking it on the chin, Michelle.
3rd down. And Clausen meets Dwight Freeney. Maybe not for the last time. Freeney with 3 sacks in just a game and a quarter in his senior season.
What Syracuse does so well is get Freeney the matchup he wants. Last week, 2 sacks on a fullback and a linebacker. This time, it's a fullback Bartholomew with Freeney one-on-one. Are you kidding me? That is such a mismatch. You can't even believe, and that's what Freeney has to be licking his chops when he sees that.
Well, this is a guy that got to Michael Vick, uncatchable Michael Vick, 4.5 times in the Virginia Tech game last year. Colquitt, an impressive 50-yard punt, but not what he had in mind because it sailed too far and he nets only 30.
But that's what Syracuse does so well in the rush, is they'll get it so he's matched up on a tight end or a running back. His 2 sacks last week, like I said, were against a tight end and a running back. He can beat the lineman as well. He does a good job of that, but Syracuse schemes their defense so well to get him that mismatch.
Chris Rippon, defensive coordinator, spends hours and hours specifically to create that mismatch.
10 consecutive games now with at least 1 sack for Freeney. He ended that Tennessee possession. Now Syracuse taking it over. Final seconds of the first quarter. Nunes gave it to Mongrel. Nobody followed Nunes. They knew where the ball was. And they give him no gain. First contact, John Henderson.
If you want to see how to win the Outland Trophy, this is how you do it. If you want to see how to play defensive football, watch this guy right here. Pads down, feet up under him, boom, stuff the blocker, slip off, nail the back right between the numbers. That's the way to play football.
6'7". Is that a disadvantage for his position?
You know, it can be, but he knows how to play, keep his pads down. He knows how to play with leverage and quickness, so he doesn't play at 6'7". If he did, there'd be people eating him in the chest all day long.
Syracuse coaches think that size makes him better than the people they've seen in the Big East, like Warren Sapp and Russell Maryland. End of the first quarter, Vols 7-0.
ESPN College Game Day, presented by Discover Card. Now 90 minutes.
Yeah, one more time.
She's checking you out.
I've never seen anything that red.
Ditto.
Bolder, richer, creamier. Killian's Irish Red. One look says a lot.
What if you could return your dog back to a healthy weight? Feed her Imes weight control formula in the blue bag. It allows her to gradually reduce weight by helping turn fat into energy, which could add years of splendid health to her life. Imes, good for today, good for tomorrow, good for life.
Do you want the gig then?
Rockstar. Rated R. Starts Friday at a theater near you.
No ID, no party.
Come on, man, I left my ID at home.
Man, you better dial 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls.
In a jam, save big bucks on every call. Dial 1-800-CALLATT. Man, my grandmama's in there.
People will say anything to get into a club.
Excuse me? Dude, wake up. Hello? Yoo-hoo!
Just a reminder, Wendy's pickup window's open late, so you can get a classic half-pound double with cheese made fresh.
Get something?
And eat great, even late.
Relax, we got supplemental insurance.
What are you talking about?
If we get injured and miss work, we're covered for things like lost pay and other expenses with this.
With what?
Plus, they pay you cash. Great, huh?
Who does?
Aflac. Without it, no insurance is complete.
Neyland Stadium and ready for the second quarter now. With Bill Curry, Mike Golick, Michelle Tafoya, Dave Barnett. 7-0 Tennessee. They scored on their first play on a touchdown pass from Casey Clausen to Dante Stallworth, covering 37 yards. And that was all the points we saw in the opening 15 minutes. 2nd and 10 to start this quarter. The Orangemen from their 20. Nunes never had a thought of turning the corner. Demetrin Veal, the junior college transfer, already with a couple of stops behind the line. And our game track through one quarter. Here's that loud beginning to the 2001 season.
A critical mistake by Syracuse. A pitch off the fullback's back. Mungo tries to recover, but Tennessee comes up with it.
And an incredibly athletic play by Rashad Baker for the interception for Tennessee.
Another 3rd and long. They need 12. And Nunes running for his life all the way back at the 5-yard line. Jabari Greer coming from the corner, got him a loss of 12 yards.
Well, that's bringing the house. Dominique Stevenson came first. Greer came in second. They had a little, what they call a meeting at the quarterback. You bring more than they have to block. Up the gut with Stevenson. Greer comes. Nice job of sidestepping the block, Stevenson.
Far back as you can get the punter. Schaefer. It's a pretty good one. And Parker wrestled down at the 45-yard line. A 41-yard kick and the tackle made by Willie Ford.
What a wonderful job by J.R. Johnson, number 45. He just took the blocker and threw him into the ball carrier, the returner, and then participated in the tackle. That's the way to cover a kick. J.R. didn't get to play last week because his coach left him home to handle academics. That will get your attention, and that will help you to cover a punt a little more vigorously.
And he's so important to their special teams that if they have to rest him, they rest him at linebacker. They want him fresh for those type of plays.
I see why.
The Hall start at the Syracuse 44. Travis Stevens broke a 39-yarder in the first quarter and has 11 before he's dragged down from behind by Quentin Harris. And Stevens clearly relishing the opportunity and the fact that there's nobody to beat back now for the starting tailback job.
Nice job by Bartholomew, the fullback, leading out on the linebacker, looking straight up the middle here. Going to come on and take out the linebacker, create the hole. And there goes Stevens, just breaks it to the outside, got some open space.
Not a bad start, 4 carries, 58 yards for Stevens. He'll try him again. And maybe 2 this time. There's some questions about his durability. 5'9", 190, not the biggest they've had back there. But not about the attitude or willingness. Anything along those lines.
He just got 2 yards there, so it's 60 yards. He now has more yards rushing himself than the Syracuse team, than the whole Syracuse team did last week.
Formation after a gain of 2. And again, they try to get it to Stallworth one-on-one with Willie Ford. It worked the first play and really not since then.
No, Willie Ford's doing a better job. The biggest factor is that Clausen has not thrown another good deep ball since the first one. He's been too long and he's been too far inside. That helped cause the interception. And Ford has done a better job of coverage. They're going to pick on Ford, though. He got burned last week and he got burned badly last year.
Syracuse defense has settled down nice, though.
They've kept Tennessee from picking up any third down conversions and put them in a 3rd and long here. 3 wideouts on the left side. Freeney has him again.
Now that is inexplicable. They did not have a blocker on Dwight Freeney. If Dwight Freeney's on the field, I got 2 guys to block you all the time, Dwight. You let him run. The guy that tackles Michael Vick, you think he's going to miss Casey twice in a row? Casey eluded him one time, not this time. A serious protection mistake by the Tennessee offense, and it's on the quarterback. He's got to make a call to get a slide in that direction. You can see from the action of Randy Sanders, he didn't get his correct call.
Well, Colquitt calling timeout. Tennessee down to 8 seconds on the play clock.
They don't have an up back again. He ran in late last time, and I think it's a. He ran in late and didn't come out this time, so they're only 10 on the field.
11:50 to go. 2nd quarter. Colquitt will kick it when we come back to Knoxville.
Your call will be answered by the next available operator. Please stand by.
Your service reps are overwhelmed with customer calls, faxes, and emails. Integrate the internet into your call center and go from providing customer support to creating customer delight. Discover all that's possible on the internet. Cisco Systems, empowering the internet generation.
You're at a stoplight. You're making a turn. You're pulling into traffic. There are a lot of reasons every 2002 Saturn L Series comes standard with head curtain airbags. Those are just a few. The Saturn L Series.
Get 0.9% APR on a 2002 Saturn L200. For restrictions, see your retailer.
Hello? Hello?
The power of cheese.
ESPN2's presentation of college football is brought to you by Original Coors. Nothing beats an original. And by 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls.
Some of the history on display for the 8th winningest program in college football history. ranked 8th in the country beginning this season. Now Travis Stevens on as the up man in front of Colquitt. First couple of punts have all been too long, and this one may be as well. No, right at the lip of the goal line, they down it. I mean, a foot away, they get it this time.
Great job by Stephen Marsh, number 9. That's hard. Special teams emphasis works on this every day. The rule says if the ball does not break the plane of the goal line, then it stays out. And he wisely tossed it back out before his momentum carried him in. He doesn't have to have possession, although he does. Nice play.
That is a fantastic play. And even if his foot is on the line, as long as the ball doesn't cross
his body, his body can be in the end zone, but the ball doesn't cross. This normally means 3 points for the kicking team.
107,000 in your ear, and you're on your 1 first down, full house backfield. That's what faces Nunes, and he sneaks it out to the 2. Bill, what do you honestly expect out of your offense with that kind of noise around it in that end zone?
The rule, the thumb of good football teams is, men, you got to make a first down in a situation like this. Don't let them force us to punt from the back line of the end zone. Make 1 first down at least so we can kick the ball out and make them start on their end of the field. Otherwise, we almost guarantee 3 points at least for the kicking team. They're going to line up in the full house wishbone.
First man through gets it, and Johnson out near the 5. Let's check it again. Oklahoma and Air Force. Reese Davis.
And Dave, Nate Hibble had just completed a 3rd and 13 pass to keep a drive alive, and maybe we're starting to see the growth of a quarterback. Hibble standing in and firing to Andre Woolfolk, who picked up 54. On the next play, he hit Trent Smith for a touchdown. It's 17-3 Sooners.
20 out of 29, but not much yardage in his debut against North Carolina last week. 3rd and 6. And they go 3 wides. They got to get it to the 11 to avoid punting out of their own end zone. Short turn in, and it got enough for a first down. A nicely run pattern, and the catch is made for Syracuse on a perfect strike by Jamel Riddle.
Bill, just how you said, the offense's job is to get at least 1 first down. Conversely, the defense, it's don't let them get that first down. Make them punt from in there. But Syracuse, a nice job. You need 5 or 6. You get 6 or 7. You get 1 yard pass and change. Don't get fancy. Just move the chains for that first down.
And Riddle stays in, goes wide right. Quasi Leverett, another backup receiver, went in motion. And across the 15-yard line goes Ferry. One of only 2 true freshmen good enough to play last year. Remember, a couple of state championship teams in Everett, Massachusetts, and a marker down at the line of scrimmage.
And how they want to do it with Ferry and with Mungrove, let Mungrove go. You see the penalty against Syracuse. Let Mungrove go 4 series, Ferry come in for 2. That's kind of how they want to split it up. Didn't work that well, they said last week, with the way they couldn't move the ball, but that's the normal transition they like to have between those 2 backs.
Well, they only had 10 series last week. Yeah. You usually expect at least 12 or 13. Right. You'd like to get 14 if you're the offensive team. Man, down here in your own territory, this is so frustrating. You can see it on Coach Pascalone's face. A well-coached football team simply does not make this many mistakes, even in its first and second game. Somehow they got to get their guys' attention.
2 turnovers, an interception, and a bad pitch charged to him as a fumble. Both in the first quarter. Now here comes another penalty marker. Well, they had plenty of time on the play clock.
Somebody may have got set and got out of their stance, or
it's going to probably be an illegal shift.
Fourth stop. Offense. Half the distance to the goal line. Still first down.
This is absolutely incredible. And now, this is a Big East crew, so nobody can accuse anybody of anything around here playing games with the rules, but Syracuse continues to simply shoot themselves in the foot. I've never seen a Syracuse team self-destruct like this. They're right back at the 3-yard line, Mike.
Fifth penalty to go with the pair of turnovers. They had given themselves some room. Now they're about where this drive started at their own 1. And Nunes kept it. It is a safety.
Busted play.
Constantine Richmond, a foreign exchange student from Melensee, Germany, played 1 year of high school ball in Tallahassee. And now backing up Will Overstreet at defensive end. And Richmond has Nunes for the safety. 9-0 Tennessee.
This is a miscommunication between the quarterback and the fullback. The quarterback expects him to take it, and he's suddenly left helpless. Richmond runs him down in a heartbeat.
Here's a question for you. They use backups that entire possession. Backup receivers, backups behind Nunes. At that spot on the field, what do you think of that? I mean, don't you want first-teamers from your own 1-yard line?
These guys practice all the time, and you tell them they're going to play and they're going to go in on the 3rd or 4th series or whatever it is. You put them in the game no matter where it is. That's the traditional program's approach, and that's what Coach P's trying to do.
You have a 6th-year senior fullback, Kyle Johnson, out, and Chris Davis, a former tailback. Never really played much fullback, is the guy that didn't take it from Nunes that time.
I tell you what's amazing me is all the mistakes Syracuse is making with a game under their belt. You expect that in the first game of the season, which is for Tennessee. These kind of mistakes, the illegal procedures, the miscommunication of the plays, seeing that between week 1 and 2, as Michelle said earlier, that's when the coaches felt you should have a lot of progress. Syracuse really, really reeling right now.
I point out, Dave, that was a backup Tennessee player that made that play, and he did his job.
Ran in there, nobody touched him.
1-year high school ball.
Oh, yeah. Where's he from again?
Melensee, Germany.
Is that close to Tallahassee?
It's close to Plovdiv, Bulgaria, who produced our kicker from last week.
Which is close to Denmark, according to Golan.
Come on.
You said it. You said it. Try to take it.
I didn't do well in geography, whatever. What's that called?
No wonder you went to the wrong class.
Oh, on it.
Schaefer's kick. Returned by the speedster Leonard Scott. Track All-America return to the 42-yard line. And Michigan and Miami of Ohio underway. Reese Davis.
That revamped Wolverine offense in the second quarter, about 2 minutes left, only 10 points on the board, but John Navarro will slip it out there to B.J. Askew. Askew will be stopped short of the goal line. It took Michigan 4 plays to get in from there, but get in they did, and they're up 17-6.
All right, and Leonard Scott shaken up after his return. And they check on him, the junior from Zachary, Louisiana. They field their fastest receiver since Willie Gault in the early 80s. A 7-time All-America in both indoor and outdoor track. It helped Tennessee win the NCAA Outdoor Championship last spring.
Averaged about 24 yards of return last year in kickoffs. Get him in the open field in so long.
So from the 42, what a fake. Lawson throws a completion, but for negative yardage to Kelly Washington.
Good. A for originality, F for execution. Reggie Coleman, I should say, was out there and didn't make the block. Let the defender come in. They had it. They had Freeney coming in for that quick penetration, trying to take advantage of it. No block.
Freeney bearing down on Clausen that time, but the pass thrown before he could do any damage. Still a loss of 1 on the stop by Lewis Gashelin. Lawson's going to step up and keep it, and he's back at the original line of scrimmage. Christian Ferrara has him this time.
Now that does not look like a good play at all, but you train a quarterback. If you set up and there's nothing there, the best thing you can do is to pull that ball down and run straight ahead. You might pop out of there and run for a first down. You're not going to come up 3rd and 18. So they got a shot at 3rd and 9+.
Leonard Scott, by the way, okay. Got the wind knocked out of him. 3rd and 10. The midway point of the second quarter. And again, the quick toss. Stevens, couple of blockers out front. Nice cutback. And then coughs it up, and it's loose at the 25-yard line. Vols had a chance to get it first. Washington, it looked like, trying to run with it, and Syracuse gets the recovery.
Number 80, Eric Parker, will be met by the coaching staff, beginning with the head coach. He didn't fumble the ball, but he had a chance to get on it, and instead, there it is. He tried to pick it up and become a hero. What you do is you curl in a fetal position around this bounding football. You do not try to pick it up. You just get on it. Eric's been trained that way, and he just forgot himself here, booted the ball, and ended up giving it back to Syracuse. A comedy of errors by both teams here.
Fumble caused by Harris. It was Parker who could have fallen on it and didn't. Mungro into the secondary and guided out of bounds by Julian Battle, and a late flag over there.
Yeah, they're going to tack another 15 onto that. Bill, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to disagree a little bit. I think there's a time and a place to try and pick the ball up and make some. I know coaches don't agree with that. They say fall on the ball. I think there's a time and a place to try and pick it up. Right there, though, that was not the time or the place. That was a long run, a great gain, fall on it, keep possession.
I never said there was never a time.
You would hate if somebody picked it up.
I'm going to disagree a little bit.
Personal foul, gets the defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
That's not the best call I ever saw. I think that was, I don't think that was intentional. I don't think he shoved him very hard. It was called on Julian Battle, and it was not a very good call.
And move it up to midfield. Both teams now turning it over twice. Last possession started at their own one. Little breathing room this time for the Orangemen. And Mungro starting tailback. Ferry on that last possession. And the stop by the weak side linebacker Keon Whiteside, joined by the man on the strong side, Eddie Moore.
And number 92 is in the football game for Tennessee now. Albert Hainsworth. Philip Fulmer and his defensive staff said this guy may have more talent than John Henderson, but he's been nicked up with a knee. They're happy he's going to get some action today.
Out of the shotgun on 2nd and 7, another fumble. And Mungro appeared to get this one back.
Bill, how much are you pulling your hair out on the sideline now as a coach seeing these mistakes? Oh.
To answer your question, Mike, I have pulled it all out by now. Really, both teams, but Syracuse particularly. These are basic things. You practice these the first day of spring practice, and you practice them every day until you play. And then you play your first game, and then you're supposed to improve before the second game. Not good.
Lucky they get that one back. Hainsworth back on the sideline now on 3rd and 7. Nunes about to run out of time on the play clock after changing the call. And about to run out of room now. Along the sideline, pulls up and overthrown. Intended for Johnny Moran on the sideline.
Now Johnny Moran is a 6'4" wide receiver. He's got to catch that ball. The little fine details of preparing your mind to play football were not done by the Syracuse team for this game, especially the offense.
Well, they can do nothing with the great field position after the penalty on Julian Battle. 4th punt of the day for Schaefer. Replaced, as we said, as the placement kicker this week, but they haven't been close enough to get Justin Sujansky, the new kicker, a crack at anything. A very short Tennessee return this time by Rashad Baker on just a 33-yard, very short punt. 5.5 minutes in the first half.
You're at a stoplight. You're making a turn. You're pulling into traffic. There are a lot of reasons every 2002 Saturn L Series comes standard with head curtain airbags. Those are just a few. The Saturn L Series.
Get 0.9% APR on a 2002 Saturn L200. For restrictions, see your retailer.
On September 7th, a son will avenge his father.
I couldn't stop it.
You're a boy.
A soldier will defend a nation.
He wants revenge. He wants to be a musketeer.
All for one! And an amazing story.
Come on! I will kill him.
Will be completely reimagined. The Musketeer, rated PG-13, at theaters Friday.
These are quarter carats and these are half.
They're beautiful. What kind of cut is that?
This is a round cut. If you look hard, I'm sure you can see them.
They're fantastic.
Who's the guy? Who is this guy?
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down.
These are 8 carats and these are 10 carats.
Make it a Bud Light.
College football Saturday. Blazing Bruin Deshaun Foster leads UCLA against the Crimson Tide. UCLA, Alabama, 7:45 tonight on ESPN.
5.5 minutes in the first half. Still 9-0 Tennessee. And they take over at their 17-yard line. Casey Clausen, 6 of 11, 98 yards, a touchdown and an interception. Last possession ended on the Travis Stevens fumble. We'll be right back to him to start this drive. And he picks his way through the middle and gains about 6 yards.
You know, to the point, Bill, where it's good play, then you wonder what's going to blow up or what's going to go wrong for both teams.
That's right. There goes Bartholomew with a bad ankle. It was heavily taped Thursday at practice, and the coaching staff was concerned about whether he could last the game, and he's gone out at least for now. Ankles are funny things. If he rested a while and they ice it, he may be able to come back.
Bartholomew, one of their captains, 3-time academic All-SEC, already with his degree in finance. Jason Witten back on tight end when in motion. Stevens again right through the middle. Going to be close for first down, but a marker is down.
Usually in that area it's holding. That's exactly what it is.
Oh, you love to say that, don't you?
Well, you know, when it's those D linemen, they're going to make the plays. Those offense got to grab to cheat, Bill. What do you want me to tell you?
Not that.
You've had over a year now to try and talk him out of that mindset, and
here's the call.
Hasn't worked yet.
Holding, get the offense, 10-yard penalty in the spot of the foul. Repeat, second down.
But Mike, what I heard was that they never had to hold you.
No, they pretty much. You remember when Freeney came free that one time? They pretty much let me do that all I wanted. Figuring I was still out of the play.
I know better than that. I know better.
Now Tennessee up to almost Syracuse penalty numbers. This mark off, 2nd and 12. Play fake, swing pass. Eric Parker, and fans wanted a face mask on Jamel Dumas, and they may just get it. The flag is thrown right where the tackle is made.
And if it is, I don't know about this one. Looked like he had him on the top of the head, but didn't actually have. Oh, no, it's a clip. Blocked all the way, so.
They thought they would like that call.
Boy, oh boy.
The defenders on both teams are making nice plays on screens, but I'll tell you this. Whoever's working with the lead blockers, in some cases it's the receivers, in other cases it's the offensive linemen. The screen blockers have not been coached well in technique. They are not getting their bodies laid out. They're not driving into people. They're hesitant, and the defenders are just running by them, making plays.
Flipping, get the offense.
So they take the 3rd and long down to Michelle Tafoya.
Well, Will Bartholomew, you're right, heavily taped, Bill Curry, underneath an ankle brace, a pre-existing condition. They're not sure if he's going to come back. He's questionable right now. They're going to let him sit, maybe put some ice on it at halftime and see what happens. I'll keep you posted.
Michelle, you sound like an HMO agent. He has a pre-existing condition.
Are you getting his identification number down there and everything for the
Social Security and student ID?
That means he's not covered, I think. 3rd and 12. Clausen pulled down just as he delivers that one, and as a result, way underthrown for Parker, covered by Ford.
You don't even have to mention who it was. You don't even have to look for the number. The guy is uncanny. He is just a pass rusher. Dwight Freeney is a great pass rusher. Honest to goodness, he reminds me of Derek Thomas, who played for us at Alabama. God rest his soul. The greatest football player I ever coached. Could do this kind of thing all day, and so can Dwight.
On a back again, Bill. He's on a running back. It's unbelievable how they're getting those matchups.
Colquitt has kicked it deep this entire first half. The Syracuse return by Jamel Riddle will give them a start in Volunteer territory. A tackle by Mark Jones. Freeney, as advertised, a handful.
The bow. Resistance becomes strength. Becomes power. The power to change and reshape your entire body. This is Bowflex, an entire gem-in-one easy-to-use machine. So powerful, it delivers over 60 health club quality exercises with up to 410 pounds of resistance in any room in your home. Strength training with Bowflex is so effective that we guarantee you'll get the results you want in 6 weeks or less. One simple workout. 20 minutes a day, 3 days a week. Bowflex is real. The results are real. And you can own one with no money down and payments as low as $33 per month. Call right now for a free video and brochure. Bowflex, the power is yours.
That could end up one day being the curse of David Cone.
Ex-Yankee David Cone is on the hill against the Bombers as the Sox try to reverse the curse. Yankees-Red Sox Sunday Night Baseball presented by Nextel, 8 o'clock Sunday only on ESPN.
On September 7th, your first source for sports news gets even better. The new ESPN News, with the enhanced bottom line that's always on. Live score updates, in-game stats, highlights, and more. The new ESPN News.
ESPN2's presentation of college football is brought to you by Saturn. Now with 2 distinctively different car lines, the L Series and the S Series. And by America's Dairy Farmers. Ah, the power of cheese.
The Volunteer symbol on campus here, not too far from Neyland Stadium, Knoxville, Tennessee, 9-0. The Volunteers, 3:44 to go in the second quarter. The Orangemen, with their 8th drive, 6 of the first 7 have gone 4 plays or less. Unable to sustain a thing. This time, with great field position, they start with a gain by Mungro over left tackle, ended by Rashad Ward's tackle. Clock rolling under 3.5 minutes. And usually Will Overstreet also will be somewhere into the picture. Bill, Syracuse known for the diversified offense with 9 seniors out there to run it. They ought to be well enough versed that these mistakes should not be happening.
They've made it work before for years and years, and you'd think this unit could execute it.
7 points in the opener, shutout so far here in game 2. Nunes going deep from Morant. And there's a little contact with Teddy Gaines as that ball was coming down, but no flag and incomplete. And it will be 3rd and 6.
Well, this has kind of been the story for Syracuse. The defense makes a nice stop, and then the offense fails to do anything with it or in their long situation. This is how it was against Georgia Tech last week. The defense kept giving Syracuse a chance, and the offense couldn't take advantage of it. Here they're in nice field position, 1 or 2 first downs. They can at least get a field goal attempt out of this.
Maurice Jackson went in motion. Nunes has to step up. needs to get to the 38, and he's going to come up short.
But you know, he didn't have to step up, Dave. He had nice protection. This is a feel thing for a quarterback. And Nunes is just a little bit rattled here, I think, by the mistakes that have been made. Yes, he's tough, and yes, he's good and smart, but he hasn't got any orange shirt near him here. He bolts. He could have sat right in there and taken his time until somebody came open. And the big guy, Morant's got to start making some catches. 2 good passes have hit his hands. He's a 6'4" guy, 220 pounds. They're counting on him to come through and become a veteran receiver.
Again, 4th and short. No doubt but to go for it at the 39-yard line of Tennessee.
Ball defenders use the opportunity to get the 107,000 up on their feet. Quick count. Nunes wanting to go to the air. Hit as he delivers and through the hands of Graham Manley. He's had 2 just like that here in the first half.
Every single coach on the sideline for Syracuse was yelling in, call timeout, call timeout. They didn't like something they saw. Nunes never saw it. Nobody on the offense saw it, and they went with the play.
And he had it right there. Injured Orangeman at the 45. Unable to pick up a number yet.
Big Graham Manley, it's kind of a knuckleball, but it's right there, and the thing hits him in the face mask. I mean, that is just lack of concentration. It wasn't touched. It really wasn't shielded from him, Mike. It was coming in from up high. He's a big, tall guy. You put your hands up, and you catch the football if you're the tight end.
And let's go quickly to Reese Davis.
All right, Dave, coming up at the half, we'll check in on Virginia Tech's new quarterback who almost did something Michael Vick never did in his days in Blacksburg. The debut of 2 new coaches in the SEC. We'll check on that. And the Terps open up the fridge, and they like what's inside. We'll see you in a few minutes.
All right, it's Diamond Ferry. Just now able to get up to his feet.
Boy, and Bill, you're right. I mean, for as much as the coaches wanted a timeout, they caught a break, and Manley was wide open, right there. Got to make that catch. Got to make that play.
Tennessee is very fortunate that they're not well behind right now because Syracuse has continued to kill themselves.
2:08 to go, and 2 timeouts left. Plenty of time to add to this lead. Not a bad start here. Stevens knocked out at the 20 by Harris. He had a 39-yarder in the first quarter. This one goes 38.
And Bill, all these plays start up front with your old position. Jason Respert, the center, has the block. Right here, watch him kick out on the defender. He's going to push him out. Opens up the middle of the field. Good wall off by the center and guard, giving the running back room.
Most important player on the field.
And Stevens already over 100 yards. 8 carries, 105. The senior from Clarksville, Tennessee. Set up another screen, and it is blown up by Clifton Smith. A very active, athletic middle linebacker.
Now let me quickly add that the center also has responsibility to look up that middle linebacker. The center, Scott Wells, 64, is out in this screen. You got to find Clifton Smith. He's the best football player on the defense. He's in man coverage. He's going to sit on your screen. You have to get a block on him on that little quick screen.
Got to him for a loss. And brings up second and 11. 122 and counting in the half. Lawson. This one complete. And Bobby Graham hit immediately by Quentin Harris. Clock continues to roll, and Tennessee will have time to huddle on a 3rd and 4. Let's see where Mr. Freeney lines up. He's going to be right defensive end, opposite Reggie Coleman. Now timeout call. They called it a good 15-20 seconds after they could have.
That's a mistake. That's coaching error to let the clock run that far.
54 seconds. Tennessee looking to add to a 9-0 lead when we come back to Knoxville.
If you're concerned about hair loss, call Hair Club now and get this booklet or CD-ROM free. It's packed with the latest information on hair loss breakthroughs from around the world, including hair cloning and genetic therapy. It's loaded with the latest updates on all the proven hair loss options available today, including approved drugs, shampoos, and Hair Club's new procedures. So call 1-800-HAIR-CLUB now to get more information. Hair Club, over 25 years of hair loss experience available at your fingertips.
It's here. Inside is unlimited strength and power. It can change everything. This is Bowflex, an entire gym-in-one easy-to-use machine. So powerful, it delivers over 60 health club quality exercises with up to 410 pounds of resistance, all in the convenience of your own home. For a free video and brochure, call right now. Bowflex. Who said change isn't easy?
You know, ideas and inventions come from people in all walks of life. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? If so, Invention Submission Corporation has information to help you get started. ISC is America's largest inventor service firm. Call now and learn how to submit your idea to companies through ISC's data bank and apply for a patent. Even if your idea is just to improve an existing product, call for ISC's free information.
For your inventor's information, call 1-800-652-0101.
So 1 now. All the timeouts left for Tennessee. They get this one 54 seconds to go. 3rd and 5 at the Syracuse 18, and a sack and a flag. Nothing goes right for Clausen here. He has Josh Thomas on him. A flag down upon the snap.
We've been bragging on Dwight Freeney so much. Josh Thomas has been a force in this game. Tipping balls, making nice plays on the run.
You believe this? Offside Syracuse.
No, I can't believe it.
Well, I tell you, more laundry out there. The rest are going to have to wash them at halftime.
6 penalties. Well, most of them have that same reaction. Paul Pasqualoni just throwing up his hands in disbelief.
And the way that one came out, somebody had to be lined up in the neutral zone before the play even started.
Offside, defense, 5-yard penalty, repeat, 3rd down.
I'll tell you, these are equal opportunity officials. Both groups are just killing themselves with absolutely inane type of penalties.
And the ref just said repeat 3rd down, but I believe they're going to get a 1st down once they move 5 yards.
Sure they are.
So it's now first and 10 at about the 12-yard line, 48 seconds and 1 timeout.
And so the officials are joining the group of the mistake makers, and that's a bad mistake.
That sack may very well take Tennessee out of field goal position. If they kick it, it's not going to be a sure thing for 3 at all. That may be a 7-point penalty.
Yep.
So with 48 seconds to go, they give him 1st down at the 12. Watch for Freeney this time lined up at left end. Give it out of the gun to Stevens inside the 10.
And a nice idea, knowing that Freeney favors the upfield rush. They run the draw right at him.
Clock down to 20 seconds. Clausen swing pass caught by Jason Witten, and he gets it stopped with 16 seconds, driven out by Charles Burton.
Well, I don't know about the time management, Bill. There were 40-some seconds. Now we're down to 16. 1 timeout to go, and they've only made about 6 yards from their 1st down at the 12. Now it's 3rd.
Time management looks like first game time management. Jason Witten, Tennessee is counting on to be a force out there, blocking as an H-back and catching the ball. He's a former wide receiver, weighs 265.
Jabari Davis had been in, now replaced again by Stevens. Only man in the backfield. 3rd and 5. They can get a 1st down at the 2. They'd rather have 7 right here. Clausen's toss is batted down by Keon Walker.
Wow.
He's very fortunate that that wasn't plucked by Keon and taken the other way.
Get your 3 and get out. Let me tell you what, I think everybody needs halftime.
Folks, here is some ugly football. A continuation. There's no other way to say it. We can't candy coat it. Casey knows better than to loft this ball up. Just a nice, gentle throw to the strong safety, Keon Walker. Not a good selection there, Casey. You're smarter than that. You did a better job than that last year as a true freshman.
So Alex Walls On to try 25-yarder. Led the SEC 93 points last year as a sophomore. Second team All-America. Finalist for the Groza Award. And a record 90%. This one gets them off to a good start in 2001. And that penalty is a 4-point penalty, I guess we'd call it, because they did not get a touchdown, but they probably would have had Tennessee out of field goal range had the sack stood.
Bill, what do you do, again, with the coach's hat on? What are you doing at halftime? I mean, there's almost so many mistakes. You can't cover them all. So where do you focus for both of these teams to get them ready for the second half?
Well, there's not a pat answer. It depends on what kind of team you got. If you got a bunch of veterans that can take it, you let them have it. I mean, you have to light into them and say, man, you didn't come here mentally prepared today. We can teach you everything. That's exactly what Phillips telling him over there right now. We can't make you throw it to the right place when the guy's standing there with a white shirt in front of your receiver. That kind of thing. Now, if you've got a team that's a little fragile, maybe been knocked around a little bit, you got to be careful. What you don't want to do is to kill their spirit at the half.
Tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, Heisman candidate Ken Simonton and the Oregon State Beavers go down the coast a bit, and quarterback David Carr and the host Fresno State Bulldogs will take on Dennis Erickson's Beavers. Ready for a run at the Rose Bowl. Fresno State showed what they were made of winning at Colorado last week. They are the WAC favorites. And that comes up tomorrow evening. Simonton's numbers, almost 1,500 yards, 5.5 per carry last year for the Fiesta winners. Who'd they play, Mike?
ND at North Dakota.
That was dirty.
That's mean to North Dakota. You're right. They whooped up on Notre Dame. I'll take my medicine.
Return, Maurice Jackson is out of bounds as the first half comes to a close. A lot like last week, mistakes. Too many of them, the story for Syracuse. Not out of this thing, though. Tennessee's made their share as well, and they lead 12-0 in their season opener at Neyland Stadium. We send you back to the studio. Reese Davis.
All right, Dave, and after the way Tennessee started with that touchdown on the first play from scrimmage, you thought maybe you'd see some fireworks from the Vols, but starting to take the complexion, as Dave said, of the kickoff classic when Syracuse and Georgia Tech sort of knocked each other around, didn't get much done on the board. Glad to have you with us on the Saturn Halftime Report. Reese Davis here with Mark May. And Mark, as the guys so perfectly documented, a lot of mistakes in the first half. One of them maybe the protection scheme against White Freeney for Tennessee?
Absolutely. Philip Fulmer, Tennessee's head coach, played the offensive line, coached the offensive line. He should know better than to leave a fullback, Will Bartholomew, one-on-one with the best pass rusher on the field to White Freeney. It is a mismatch. You have to have an offensive lineman go block him. Maybe the fullback should chip, but not just a fullback one-on-one in the open field. That's not fair.
Offensive lineman every time?
Maybe 2. Ask Casey Clausen.
Yeah, Clausen will say 2. Keep a tight end in. Anybody else? Freeney's been disrupting the Vols offense. Coming up on the Saturn Halftime Report, Virginia Tech, life after Michael Vick. Well, it started off just fine, thank you very much, against UConn. We're back after this.
ESPN College Game Day, presented by Discover Card. Now 90 minutes.
You're at a stoplight. You're making a turn. You're pulling into traffic. There are a lot of reasons every 2002 Saturn L Series comes standard with head curtain airbags. Those are just a few. The Saturn L Series.
Get 0.9% APR on a 2002 Saturn L200. For restrictions, see your retailer.
Hi. Hi. You weren't about to eat that, were you? No. You can order room service, you know, get a hamburger, salad, omelet, whatever you need, you know.
Whatever, yeah, any of it.
Rock on, brother.
You get a room, we'll bring the food. Holiday Inn gives you more, and more is better.
It's coming. The Miller Lite
Light Tailgate Tour. Join the party as it rolls into a town near you. You could win a chance to tailgate at Super Bowl 36 or win tickets with our NFL handbook and specially marked packages. Grab a Miller Lite. It's Miller time.
1-800-COLLECT presents Ava Save-A-Lot.
I called you just in time. I was just calling Dad back home. You weren't using 1-800-COLLECT.
Our dog collect calls the same?
That's what they want you to think. 1-800-COLLECT can save your dad at least $1 or $2. So it's 1-800-COLLECT.
It's so easy.
Right. Now go spread the word.
Bye.
Taxi! Who's got the best legs?
1-800-COLLECT. Save $1 or $2.
Tennessee on top of Syracuse 12-0 at the break. Glad to have you with us on the Saturn Halftime Report. Next week, one of the marquee games, Nebraska hosting Notre Dame. And the Huskers figured to just have a little tune-up against Troy State. Troy State in transition year, going from being a perennial 1AA playoff team to being a payoff team. Take the nice check, go home from Lincoln, go back to the Wiregrass in Alabama and take your beating. Third quarter, Eric Crouch and the Huskers up 28-14. Darren Diedrich, who had a big game. Diedrich going for 177 yards. Third touchdown of the day there, Mark.
Reese never got touched. The offensive line did a fantastic job. That's exactly what you want to have up front is perfect execution. 42-14 the final. The Huskers roll. They didn't look pretty all of the time, but they got the big win. Eric Crouch, 8 for 15, 109 yards. He carried the ball 15 times for 40 yards and scored a touchdown. UConn taking on Virginia Tech. Frank Beamer going for win number 100. Michael Vick is gone. Grant Knoll. Well, this is Grant Knoll's first pass. I think things are going to work out okay for Grant Knoll if he keeps finding Andre Davis. Absolutely. And the way that he stood in the pocket when he had command of this offense was amazing to me. And stepping in for Michael Vick, didn't have the jitters, just led this offense perfection today. 8 for 8 in his first 8 attempts.
That one going for 48 yards, this one going for 49. Courtesy of Lee Suggs. Suggs scored a couple of touchdowns. Comes Virginia Tech's all-time leader in touchdowns scored on the ground. 52-10 the final. Suggs had 99 yards on the ground with a Heisman candidate, but he left the game with what they're calling a knee sprain right now. They're going to do an MRI. They say there's no swelling. That's the good news. There is a little looseness, and he came out in a brace.
I know they're being very protective of Lee Suggs, is what they should be, but when you come out in a brace from your thigh to your ankle, that's not a very good sign.
Knoll threw for 270 yards. Michael Vick in his career only threw for more than 270 yards one time. So 16 out of 20, I think probably Virginia Tech quite satisfied with the debut of Grant Knoll as a starter.
Not a bad start for Grant Knoll. And what it does is it shows everyone on this team there's no quarterback controversy at Virginia Tech. He is the man.
And the freshman, Brian Randall, came in and played pretty well late as well. Another debut, a coaching debut at West Virginia is Rich Rodriguez taking over for Don Nalen on the Mountaineer sideline, taking on Boston College. And that offense never got going for West Virginia, but it certainly did for William Green and BC.
And I love what he did today. If you give him an inch, he'll blow right through that hole and make a big play out of it, and Willie Green did. And we have to mention the H word. First weekend of the regular season in college football, first full week, and you have to talk about Willie Green as a Heisman Trophy candidate, over 200 yards rushing.
In large numbers for Green. They get a little redemption, a little revenge for the beating they took down in Morgantown last year, 34-10, the final in that one. So not a great debut, really, for the offensive guru, Rich Rodriguez. They really didn't get a lot going on the offensive side of the ball.
Not at all. And you expected Rich Rodriguez to come in there and really change the offense, at least implement different strategies, at least be exciting on the offensive side of the ball for West Virginia. We did not see that today. This is a learning experience for him. But one of the coaches that are in his first starts today, I think he laid an egg.
Another coaching debut. We'll see if it goes a little better from your critique standpoint for Les Miles. Oklahoma State on the road down in Southern Mississippi. Southern Mississippi has trouble getting teams coming there to play, and the Cowboys going on the road and taking on the Golden Eagles. They had a 3-0 lead in the first when Jeff Kelly, who seemingly has been there forever, finds Chris Johnson on the slant. Kelly 22 of 35, 287 yards. Southern Mississippi outslugs Oklahoma State 17-9. Dwayne Woods rushed for 70 yards for the Golden Eagles as well. Some games that are going on right now. Oklahoma taking on Air Force. Nate Hibble's thrown a touchdown pass. Looks a little more comfortable than he did last Saturday night against North Carolina. Michigan, a little trouble getting the offense going. They're replacing 5,000 yards and 52 touchdowns from last year. Colorado is rolling over Colorado State. They've returned a couple of interceptions for touchdowns. That game deep in the third quarter as the Buffaloes try to beat the Rams for the first time in 3 years. And look at Illinois. Kurt Kittner's hit Brandon Lloyd a couple of times for touchdowns. Antonio Harris has scored 3 times. And the Illini destroying the Golden Bears 38-7, and they've just started in the 3rd quarter. Still to come here on the Saturn Halftime Report. We'll check in on the SEC. All you Vols fans want to see how Guy Morris's debut went against Louisville. We'll see. Dave Ragone showing off the feet. We're back after this.
The Saturn Halftime Report is presented by Saturn. Now with 2 distinctively different car lines, the L Series and the S Series.
You're at a stoplight. You're making a turn. You're pulling into traffic. There are a lot of reasons every 2002 Saturn L Series comes standard with head curtain airbags. Those are just a few. The Saturn L Series.
Get 0.9% APR on a 2002 Saturn L200. For restrictions, see your retailer.
How many 1-liter bottles would you have to buy to equal the amount of water you get from one pure faucet mount? About 378. Pure faucet mount filters. Pure water made easy.
Now get the Wall Street Journal delivered for 8 weeks at just 38 cents a day, a 50% savings.
Call 800-454-6500. That's 800-454-6500 for the Wall Street Journal.
Discover the amazing hitting secrets of America's finest baseball school in Teaching the Mechanics of the Major League Swing 2. Tommy Mansky's powerful teaching video that features the same revolutionary techniques that have produced baseball world's back-to-back-to-back AAU national championship teams. Parents, players, and coaches have been simply amazed at their students' rapid week-by-week improvement. These award-winning techniques benefit players of all ages and ability levels and make a valuable addition to any coach's library and a great gift. At just $29.95, call now.
Back on the Saturn Halftime Report, Tennessee up on Syracuse 12-0 at the half. Elsewhere in the SEC, a couple of coaches making their debuts at their schools. Guy Morris leading Kentucky, and things have been tough for Kentucky. The NCAA investigation going on, and they screwed up fan day. PA system went out. They had people feeling like they were going to be crushed. They were trying to order up the crowd with a bullhorn. It's been a tough offseason in Lexington, but it would get much better if they could beat arch rival Louisville. 1st and 10, Kentucky ball deep in their own end, and the big fella, body by Akibono. Jared Lorenzi has lost 35, 40 pounds, but he drops the ball there, lost the ball, which was worse. Louisville has it deep in KY Catland, and then Dave Ragone gives it to TJ Patterson. Louisville sort of stretched this thing out late and won it going away 36-10.
They just pummeled them at the end of the game, but for Guy Morris, the head coach of Kentucky, he's got to make a decision at the quarterback position. Jared Lorenz or Shane Boyd. I like Shane Boyd myself because he adds more diversity to the offense, but when you've got a quarterback that should be an offensive lineman at 280 pounds, I think it's an easy decision to make.
Yeah, 4 turnovers on the day for the Cats. It just wasn't a pretty thing. Arkansas State and Georgia, the debut of the Mark Richt era tween the hedges. 14-0 Dogs. David Green gonna throw, and Terrence Edwards has it, and he's into the end zone. Little Larry Munson, for you Georgia people enjoying the game. Georgia up 21-0. They enjoyed this one. Green was 21-29, 285. Couple of touchdown passes, Dogs roll.
And for Mark Richt, the head coach, and all these offensive gurus that became head coaches this year, I think his team looked the best, albeit it was against Arkansas State, 598 total yards of offense.
Georgia gets its real test coming up next week, but it's always good to build a little confidence. They've got South Carolina and that tough defense of Charlie Strong coming in next week. Georgia will be motivated, obviously, after what happened to them last year. Tennessee on top of Syracuse, 12-0 at the break. The Vols sputtered a little bit on offense. We'll be back with more on the Saturn Halftime Report after this.
Are we done yet?
Dish for sale?
Nope.
You're gonna have fun taking that down.
Oh, we're leaving the dish, taking the receivers. Dish Network's taking care of the rest.
That's a deal. How about a deal on this?
Dish Mover, the hassle-free part of your move. Includes delivery, basic installation, and a new Dish 500.
So, your color.
Dish Mover from Dish Network. It's free.
They
are Saturday's soldiers prepared for battle, fighting for every pass, every yard, every touchdown. Catch all of this week's college football action with ESPN Game Plan, available on Dish On Demand pay-per-view. It's maximum college football with up to 12 games you can't see anywhere else. Catch all the top conferences. To be there, all you need is ESPN Game Plan, available on Dish On Demand pay-per-view. To order, use your remote control or call 1-877-363-EVNT.
Every week I give tours around campus, and people ask me, why did you come to the University of Tennessee? I tell them it's because I wanted lots of choices. I wanted a place where I could do real work. My scholarship at UT allowed me to go to England, and I interned with a member of parliament. Why did I choose Tennessee? Because it's all here. My dad's thinking, oh no, now she wants to get into politics. Why not?
The Southeastern Conference, a tradition of excellence.
Halftime just about over Neyland Stadium. Season opener for Tennessee. They lead 12-0 over the Syracuse Orangemen in their second game of the season. They lost 13-7 at the Meadowlands to Georgia Tech last week. Dave Barnett, Bill Curry, Mike Golick. Syracuse, despite a lot of mistakes, still in this game, Bill.
Not only are they in it, they could have the lead if they had executed at all. It's hard for me to believe they won't do better in the second half.
Mistakes by both teams. That's the story of this half.
Got off to a perfect start as far as the balls were concerned. As we check our game track, the very first play from scrimmage of the season goes 37 yards for a touchdown. Clausen into the end zone to Dante Stallworth.
Syracuse, a comedy of errors. Unfortunately, 6 penalties for 49 yards. A nice play here by Rashad Baker. The Tennessee baiting the quarterback.
Oh, and then the fumble by Stevens on a nice run. They don't want to fall on the ball. They give it up. 2 turnovers for Tennessee to go along with 4 penalties for 40 yards. 6 penalties, Bill, on Syracuse side for 49 yards. So a lot of flags being thrown this half.
Yeah, and on all but one of the calls, it was hard to argue with him.
Let's send it down to Michelle Tafoya.
All right, Dave, I spent halftime in the Tennessee locker room, and offensive coordinator Randy Sanders addressed the entire offense saying, we have had opportunities all over the place. We've miscommunicated on routes. We've missed receivers. You guys just need to slow down and play your game. How good do you want to be? He asked him. You've got to take ownership in this. Randy Sanders and Phil Fulmer both spent a lot of one-on-one time with Casey Clausen, trying to get him to calm down, telling him, you're stronger than this, you're better than this, you can play better than this. Again, take some ownership in it, Dave.
Clausen in the first half had decent numbers, 10-17, 107 yards, a touchdown, an interception, but the point they were making, obviously, they thought it could have been much better. And Schaefer starts the second half with a bobbled kick. Leonard Scott, who had the wind knocked out of him in the first half, returns it near the 20, and another special teams tackle by J.R. Johnson.
So J.R., again, he's got his schoolwork together and he's got his football together. I just love this. A lot of times people say, well, it's a bobble ball. They usually pick it up and run for a touchdown. Not so. Not if J.R.'s on the field. He just mashes the blocker. Nice form tackle in the open field. That's great special teams play.
Senior out of Cicero, New York. From the 20. They start the third quarter with a give to Travis Stevens, who went over the 100-yard mark on a 38-yard dash late in the first half. His 9th carry here, and he's at 107 for the day.
Who can get in the rhythm of their offense now? And you saw in the lead block for Tennessee was Will Bartholomew, the fullback, so he is back in the game. Must have, as Michelle said, was going to get some ice at halftime. Looks like it worked good enough. Ice the elixir, huh, Bill, to get you back on the field?
Well, they found out the pre-existing condition was not so serious that he couldn't continue.
Motion by Jason Witten. And another give for Stevens, tripped up at the line of scrimmage.
Travis Stevens tripped up.
Syracuse defense allowed a little over 200 total yards in the first half. Stevens, a much bigger worry, you would think, than the passing game, except for that first play, where they got the 37-yard touchdown.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, Tennessee's body language does not make me feel confident for them. The way they came back on the field for the second half, they don't look like they're excited about correcting this situation.
Lawson with 3 receivers on the right side, but out of the gun he gives it again to Stevens, and he can't get away from Quentin Harris. Comes up after a quick read, helped out by Josh Thomas, and the Syracuse defense starts the second half with a 3-and-out for Tennessee's offense.
Bill, I absolutely agree with you. The key plays of the game, that first play of the game, you're always taught, go hit someone in the mouth, let them know right off the bat it's going to be a long day for you. And the first drive of the third series, for really the offense and the defense, Syracuse clearly winning this battle. I agree. I don't like the way Tennessee has come out this half.
Colquitt. With another pretty good kick. This one knocked back after being touched around the 37-yard line. Well, tonight at 7:15 here on ESPN2, right after we're done, Marshall, led by quarterback Byron Leftwich, thundering into Gainesville, and they take on the Florida Gators, ranked #1 in the country beginning the season. Rex Grossman, Jabbar Gaffney, helping Florida become the early favorite for this year's national championship, and their road starts with the Thundering Herd, 7:15 tonight. Numbers last year for Grossman, 3 times as many touchdowns as interceptions and better than 60%. Nunes to Mungro on the pitch, able to turn the corner and get the 44-yard line, knocked out by Julian Battle.
Bill, Syracuse has gotten the corner a few times on Tennessee, which surprises me. Tennessee usually known for that attacking defense as well as speed, but Syracuse really stretching them out.
They're getting some good extension on the corner. They're running and they're turning it up. That's an 8-yard gain. You don't expect that. Tennessee looks sluggish. They look sluggish on defense and on offense. Let's see if Syracuse can keep themselves structured here.
David Tyree into the game at wideout, went in motion. There's a huge hole and a first down and up to midfield. Some of the best blocking of the day as they get the secondary for Mungro, the tackle made by the corner on that side, Teddy Gaines.
Here's one of the places it'll get interesting, and Dave, you talked about it with Bill earlier, is the different types of plays and the amount of plays that Syracuse runs. They were just successful on 2 basic plays, a wide run and now an inside run. Now will they try to get a little fancy?
Really nice job by P.J. Alexander, number 69, the left tackle. He creates that gaping hole. Mungro threw it for the first down.
Mungro out for a break after hitting the 51-yard mark. Nunes rolling on a play fake. That was intended for Maurice Jackson, way behind him. Now, Reese Davis, is Colorado still blowing out Colorado State up in Denver?
They were indeed, Dave. 31-7. Colorado State changed quarterbacks after a couple of pick sixes by DJ Bush. Bradley Van Pelt finding Henri Childs there. It's a 31-14 game, but they're in the 4th.
Gary Barnett did not have an enjoyable week. Next week may be different. Nunes, 1 of his last 8 for 8 yards through the air. Another toss around the left side, and Ferry will only pick up 1 this time. Will Overstreet. We talk about his motor and the fact that even with torn cartilage in his knee last year over his final 8 games, you still couldn't keep him blocked.
No, he's an academic all-SEC and just really a great person according to his coaches, a leader. Gets by on quickness and speed. Now the safeties are getting involved in the running game more and more. Watch the play-action pass in the next run-pass situation.
Pump fake. And another inaccurate throw on 3rd and 9 intended for Campbell. Campbell covered by Gaines, but what really hurt him that possession was the ball thrown about 5 yards behind Maurice Jackson, who was wide open.
Yeah, he tried another one of the pump fakes that didn't work. Again, the running has been working somewhat here, but then they go to the passing game, and now Nunes, one of his last 9, not getting it done.
And for the day, 4 of 12, 37 yards. All Syracuse has through the air. Baker's kick. and not much of return. Out to the 15-yard mark on that punt in the third.
People rave about the fun they had. All the good days and friendly faces. And good times all around. And you wonder, did they just take a vacation? Or just get back from dinner? A great night out that feels like a holiday. Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
Best way to beat the Knoxville game day traffic? Become a part of the Volunteer Navy. Sailed right up to Neyland Stadium. Tennessee takes over at their 16 up 12-0. 11:20 mark of the third quarter. Lawson all day threw it into double coverage. Very lucky that wasn't intercepted. Intended for Stallworth and Willie Ford after getting his hands on it. Slow getting up. Got a blow to the midsection, it looked like.
What? I tell you what, Casey Clausen seems to be playing with a little fire, Bill, from the end of the first half to now. He's had a couple that could have been picked on him.
I can't remember when we've seen a well-thrown pass by either quarterback.
It could be age, too, Bill. I'm sorry.
I don't think so.
They're not that old.
Oh.
A little weave off the left side by Corey Larkins, redshirt freshman, Opelika, Alabama. The converted defensive back. Doesn't crack a tailback.
That middle linebacker for Syracuse has a traditional responsibility, and Clifton Smith is keeping up his end of the bargain. Another nice play by number 9, the middle linebacker. Scraping right in the hole, slipping the blocker, boom. Guys trying to hold him and drag him down. That's Fred Worry, too, the best offensive lineman for Tennessee.
So Tennessee faced with the 3rd and long. And before they can get anything underway, whistles.
Marker on the play.
Jack Kramer, the Big East official.
Quiet stop. False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Seen our share of those today on both sides.
Whatever happened at the half with the offensive units, the players do not have their minds in this game. They are not alert. They are not playing football like an outstanding SEC or an outstanding Big East team is supposed to play. The defenses are playing pretty well, but they don't have to play great football to stop these two offenses.
3rd and 7 now turns into 3rd and 12. Clausen couldn't get it off. He got smacked, and it is loose and picked up by Freeney. Dwight Freeney with the recovery inside the 5-yard line. Will Hunter comes on a corner blitz and separates Clausen from the ball.
Another example of the quarterback having a responsibility to see secondary pressure, and he simply doesn't see it coming. Will Hunter, number 30, coming off the corner in the bottom of your screen. Here he comes. Freeney's almost there. Clausen never sees him, does not make the necessary adjustment, and down he goes, and the officials rule that the ball was not coming forward. Now let's see if the offense can get the job done from the 5-yard line. Freeney loves it. They might need to put him in there and throw him a pass.
One touchdown the first 6 quarters plus for the Syracuse offense. His lines up in the eye, and right away, the first mistake of the 3rd quarter, and it's a senior, James Monroe.
False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Who backs him up to the 10.
I asked Troy Nunes yesterday, are you ready for this noise? Do you have hand signals? Do you have ways to communicate so you won't make big mistakes when you got a chance on the goal line? He said, oh yeah, we work in noise all the time. I am speechless at what we're seeing here from these two offenses.
And the noise they heard all week, the song Rocky Top, the fight song for Tennessee, was played all week in Syracuse to get them ready for the noise.
Nothing like the real thing, though. Quick give, and Monroe on the first down, backed up to his 10, gets it inside the 5.
Now think about this. Suppose he had not moved on the first play. You know where he would have ended up? In the end zone on that play. Now they got 2nd down at the 4, and that is a whole lot different than a touchdown on first down. Needless to say.
Freeney in the defense, giving them this great shot. And remember, for Pasqualoni, even field goals the last 2 years have not been sure things, even this close. So 2nd down, the snap just inside the 5. Quarterback draw. Nunes loses to the 7. Rashad Moore.
I'm speechless.
I don't
take it away, Mike.
What has been working for Syracuse the last series? A run around end, a couple of runs up the middle, a run right there works, and then they always try and get a little bit cute, a quarterback draw. Run what's working until they stop it.
3rd and goal. His possession has lost 2 yards on the first 2 snaps. Tyree back in motion. Nunes, one of his last 9. He hits Monroe, but knocked out of bounds inside the 5 by Dominique Stevenson. And the net effect is basically no movement allowed by the Tennessee defense or managed by the Syracuse offense, and they will send the kicking unit on and hoping for 3. But lately, that's all Syracuse has been able to do, hope for 3. Last 15 games, a pitiful 28%, and beyond 35 yards, forget it.
And this is a program that's had great kickers through the years. This is the traditional kicking powerhouse.
True freshman Justin Sujanski's first crack as a collegiate will be 22 yards. The big angle, right to left, and he sends it through. Took the job this week from the junior Mike Schaefer, who was 7 of 21 for his career, and he gets Syracuse on the board.
How you doing? How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing? How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?
Ah! What?
This fall, he wants to be a musketeer. Experience one of the greatest stories ever told, as you've never seen it before. You're quite good. A timeless classic is completely reimagined with fight choreography by Hong Kong legend Yen Yen Zhang.
All for one!
The Musketeer, rated PG-13 at theaters Friday.
Between the travel and the tedium, training programs can cost real leaps in productivity. Go from training downtime to learning online, anytime, anywhere. Discover all that's possible on the internet. Cisco Systems, empowering the internet generation.
Longtime Tennessee assistant John Chavis, defensive coordinator, can't be anything but thrilled after only allowing the field goal.
That is a win for the Tennessee defense, I guarantee you that. Started at the 5-yard line, ended at the 5-yard line. They've been getting beat a little bit at the point of attack. We said how Syracuse has been successful on the run up the gut or the run around end, the normal play. Then they start to fancy it up a bit, and then Tennessee's been hammering them there with their speed.
So Schaefer's kick, by far his deepest, and it's a good 7 yards deep where Dante Stallworth will take a knee. We take it down to Michelle.
Well, Dave, you know, Bill Curry was just talking about this. Does not seem like a Tennessee team that you would expect even in the season opener. In the locker room at halftime, I completely agree with you, Bill. This was a team that was not very businesslike. They were relaxed. They were mostly concerned with getting hydrated. There wasn't the normal chanting and cheering that you hear in the Tennessee locker room at halftime. There wasn't a lot of intensity or a lot of fire. They almost seemed like, well, we're up 12-0. We don't really have a lot to worry about. Syracuse can't score, so we're not going to worry. And so far, they still don't look sharp, Bill.
Well, I couldn't agree more. This is a big series for them offensively.
At 1st and 15.
Left side, offensive line moving to Tennessee.
Yeah, and the captain, Weary, is right in Casey Clausen's face. So apparently it was a snap count error by the quarterback. At least Fred's going to make sure that everybody up here thinks so.
Well, this is the leaders that have to step up. That's Weary, and when Michelle was talking, we had a shot of John Henderson on defense. These guys, the leaders, have to step up.
Oh, yeah. That is not what he thought the count was on. He let Casey know. So, from the 15, 1st and 15, Stevens hit in the backfield by Jamil Dumas, the weak side backer.
And again, confusion on the snap count. The ball was snapped early before people moved. There is very poor coordination for the Tennessee offense. Watch the coordination. Everybody should be moving in concert. The ball is snapped. There's a slight hesitation. The defense loves it, because they get the jump on the offensive line. And if you're an offensive lineman, that's the worst thing that can happen to you.
2nd and 17. Lawson looking deep, right side, and threw it way behind the wrong shoulder of Eric Parker, and he hears about it too. Let's check in on Michigan, Miami of Ohio. Reese Davis.
Dave, Miami was driving inside the Michigan 15, looking to pull closer. Ben Roethlisberger puts it up, and Jeremy LeSueur with the pick, and Michigan answers by marching 80 yards reverse. Calvin Bell taking it into the house, and Michigan pulled out there comfortably now, 24-6.
All right, nothing comfortable here. Tennessee's offense sputtering and backing up this possession. 3rd and 17, they run it. And fans not in love with that call either.
Well, what we have here is a very rattled young quarterback, and you just don't want to take a chance in that situation. The defense is stopping Syracuse when Syracuse doesn't stop itself, and so you just hand it off and punt the ball and play some defense.
Now let's talk about field position here. Syracuse should be setting up for a return here. They should easily get the ball in Tennessee territory.
I said the last drive was big for Tennessee. The same is true here for Syracuse.
Corey Davis gets 4. Colquitt gets a pretty good rush right up the gut. But he unloads another nice punt. And nowhere to go on the return by Riddle.
Riddle on the return.
47-yard kick by Colquitt. 12-3 in the 3rd.
Why are you looking at me like that? 1, because it seems you are the only survivor of this train wreck. And 2, you don't have a scratch on you.
I've come to believe a rather unbelievable possibility. I hope you can keep an open mind. Are you ready for the truth?
Unbreakable, rated PG-13.
Now from Dish Network, a great movie offer. Order Stars, and you'll get 7 additional premium movie channels free. That's 8 movie channels for the price of 1. All from the Stars Super Pack, #1 in new hit movies. Over 500 movie choices every month. 8 movie channels for the price of 1. Only $10.99 a month. The Stars Super Pack, 8 movie channels for the price of 1. Call now, 1-800-333-DISH.
You're not the game day fan, guys.
College Game Day, presented by Discover Card, Saturday mornings at 10:30 on ESPN.
College football Saturday. Blazing Bruin Deshaun Foster leads UCLA against a Crimson Tide that's physical, fast, and tough on D. UCLA, Alabama, 7:45 tonight on ESPN. ESPN2's presentation of college football is brought to you by Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right. And by Nike. It's time to play. Visit Nike.com/play for more.
Yesterday, we halfway expected to hear Peyton Manning and T. Martin talk to us. Such lifelike wax likenesses of him. And 107,000 plus inside Neyland Stadium. Not real thrilled, even though their team on top 12-3. 7 points, first play from scrimmage. Not a whole lot from that point on from either offense. Head snap over the head of Noon, who wins the foot race, but he can't come up with the recovery. It's still loose inside the 5-yard line.
Should we expect anything but a mad scramble for the ball at this point?
Tennessee ball. John Henderson off the bottom of the pile.
Nick Romeo, bless his heart, the offensive center only gets his name called when this happens. Number 61, outstanding football player, a sophomore who's done a good job with a gun snap, and that's the risk you run when you run the shotgun formation. A snap like that can put you in dire straits, and I'm telling you, Syracuse is in deep trouble right now.
First and goal, 5-yard line. Tennessee. Henderson hustles back and accepts the Syracuse gift. Good start on another Outland trophy for him. And Clausen, calls time. 6:46 in the third. Tennessee poised to take full control here.
To you, it's a PC, but to your kids, it's a laboratory, a museum, or a rainforest. The compact Presario 5000T with Intel Pentium 3 processor. It's a place where your child can explore a world of ideas. And it's just $839. Call 1-800-331-4120 today and get a free compact printer and $50 instant rebate. Hey, why just take your kids to school when you can take them farther than they ever dreamed?
Par, birdie. Whoa, par. Must be a Golf Magazine subscriber. Call now for your free trial issue and learn how to shave 3, 4, or 5 strokes off your game. Add 20 yards to your tee shots, improve your short game, shoot lower, and play the best golf of your life. Call now for your free trial issue of Golf Magazine. If you like it, get 11 more issues, 12 in all for just $15.94. Plus, get this terrific Golf Magazine gear bag free with your paid subscription. Call the toll-free number on your screen now.
Every day, AmeriDebt helps more people with money problems.
My credit card debt was outrageous. Then I called AmeriDebt. They contacted my creditors and got my payments almost cut in half.
AmeriDebt is a nonprofit organization that offers free consultations to consumers seeking to eliminate their debt.
Every month I pay our credit card bills, but the balances never seem to get smaller.
AmeriDebt got our interest rates reduced, and now the balances are dropping dramatically.
Call 1-800-233-0500. AmeriDebt, helping America get out of debt.
Clausen, after the timeout, back in the same formation with a couple tight ends, only one wide out, and the I formation behind him. Jabari Davis in that backfield. Ahead of Stevens. And just a spring, but only a gain of 1 for Travis.
Keon Walker, number 28, goes down an inside drill, or 9-on-7 every week. And he learns how to fill his gap. And there's a tackler too many for this 2 tight end offense right here. In theory, if everybody holds their gap, there should not be a place to run this defense against this offense. You should force either an option or a throw.
That's
the theory of the defense.
And that is incredible.
That's a great number. Let's see if they can pull it off again.
He was forced to settle for 3 in the first half. Stallworth the only wideout. Witten in motion. Toss sweep Stevens. Davis out in front. He cuts it back and in for the touchdown.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys, I didn't think he was getting in. He cut it back. There were 4 defenders there, and he sliced right through them.
When Syracuse took over at the Tennessee 5, they settled for 3, and Tennessee punches it in for 6. After the bad snap by Nick Romeo sailed over Troy Nunes' head. Alex Walsh perfect on all his PATs last year, and his streak up to 49 in a row.
Well, they try and go wide. Nice night for Stevens, a day for Stevens. They try and go wide in this play, and they spring it out, and he has a chance to cut it back. But look at the Syracuse defenders that are there. He cuts it back. They're going to show up. There's one. They're going to start coming in. 1, 2, 3, 4. And only Josh Thomas gets his hands on the guy, and he slices through him.
The defensive theory worked here. The execution did not. You've got to tackle, and you don't tackle with a good back by putting your head behind him. Josh Thomas must tackle with his head across the bow or across the sternum of the running back. That did not happen there. And so Phil Fulmer is a little happier with what he's seeing here.
If it's any consolation to Nick Romeo, he did not break your long-standing record for longest.
I should have never told you guys.
Longest snap in Neyland Stadium 38 years ago, and it still stands.
1963, Georgia Tech versus Tennessee. I hiked the ball 35 yards into the end zone, but it was the other end zone, and I think that is probably still the record for Neyland Stadium. And I should have never told these guys about that.
Well, tell Nick about it now. He'll feel a little
better. My coaches told me about it. They said you get one of those a career. My wife burst into tears. Carolyn doesn't even cry at funerals. She cried. It was so bad.
Colquitt with a high kick. Down to Ferry.
Flip.
Oh, yeah. Marker down. Ferry returns to the 24.
Ferry on the return.
Long way to run 11 yards all told.
And the beat goes on. Rich Scanlon just shoved the guy in the back.
That's just the dumbest, isn't it, Bill? I mean, you're taught on special teams, if you can see the back number of the player, don't touch him. And Scanlon, it was clearly in the back, and he just shoved him, and this cost an offense that is already struggling.
Illegal block in the back on a kick return. They half the distance from the previous spot. First down.
Rich Scanlon, number 57, shoves right here in the back. Just amazing that you coach a guy that much. You can't imagine the number of reps these guys get being taught not to do that. And then they get in a heated situation, and you start a drive at the 8-yard line.
Don't know where they haven't been before today. Mungro coming right, runs out of room after a nice gain on first down. Sunday Night Baseball presents one of the best rivalries in baseball history. The Boston Red Sox hosting the New York Yankees. Sunday Night Baseball presented by Nextel at 8 Eastern. If you can't get to a TV, ESPN Radio will have the nationwide coverage. Check your local listings. Scheduled starters at the Fens, David Cohn and Mike Mussina. Nice matchup tomorrow night. Yankees threatening, though, to run away with the East. A nice bit of blocking for Mungro right up the middle of the first down. We check in on Duke and Florida State. Reese Davis.
Dave, the nation's longest losing streak belongs to the Blue Devils. Florida State retooling that defense. 7 new starters in there. Deep Bryant looking for Chris Douglas. Dangerous out of the backfield, and he will take it to the house. 79 yards. It's 6-0 Devils.
Well.
Duke ought to do the way Lee Corso did when his Indiana team was briefly ahead of Ohio State. Get everybody to pose in front of the scoreboard for a picture.
6-0.
Let's commemorate this. Noon's couple of pumps. Nearest man to that was the Tennessee defensive back, Jabari Greer.
Noons is going to get up slow. Amari Hand, he absolutely leveled Noons, who took some shots last week against Georgia Tech. Remember, this guy is just, what, about $185? And he's getting bounced off the turf a little bit. Noon's going to come. Hand's going to come from the top of the screen, hit him, and he's going to land on him. And let me tell you what. When you get landed on, it hurts.
You never got landed on.
I tried to be the lander, not the landee. I say that right?
Yeah.
Just beating the play clock for a draw play. Monroe can't get the pile more than a couple yards. It'll be 3rd and 8. As Edward Kendrick and Robert Peace get to it first. Noon still trying to shake off that hit by Hand. It may have bent his hand under it. The left hand.
Well, he took such a beating, and it was Sunday. So as he said in our meeting yesterday, I didn't have a full week to recover, but I feel pretty good now. But it's amazing how much difference that 24 hours shorter period can make. So, I mean, you get hit again, it almost doubles the pain.
So here's 3rd and 7. From the 23. Time steps up and drops. He finally hit somebody between the numbers, and David Tyree couldn't catch it between the 8 and the 1.
The only problem with that, it was 3rd and 7. It was a 2-yard crossing route. Even if he caught it, he wasn't making the first down. It wasn't throwing to the sticks.
Well, you got football players that are not minding their P's and Q's. Receivers are taught to catch the ball in their hands, tuck it and put it away. Don't catch it in your chest, regardless of whether it's 2 yards or 8 yards.
It's a bit of a high snap that time, but Schaefer handles it. Be more good Tennessee field position. Parker returns a 35-yard kick, 10 yards. Colorado and Colorado State again from Davis. Recent update.
Dave, the Buffs' 2-game losing streak to the Rams is going to be over in a matter of moments. Chris Brown going in for the 2nd time on the day. 41-14, just a buck and a half left to go in that.
All right, so Gary Barnett turns that rivalry back toward Boulder. And now 1-1 after the upset loss at home to Fresno State last week.
Boy, did he need that win.
Ball's at the 48 of Syracuse. And again, Jabari Davis stays in at fullback. We've seen him at tailback a couple of times. This is Cedric Houston's first college carry. True freshman, Clarendon, Arkansas, a parade All-America there after averaging 10 yards per carry as a senior.
How in the world do you average 10 yards a carry? Jeez.
You're either real good or the other teams are real bad, or a mixture thereof.
Probably both.
Yeah.
Probably both.
State record, 97 touchdowns in his career. And they get Cedric a taste of college ball.
Casey doesn't like what he sees. You wonder they're going to burn another timeout here.
Fans really didn't like it the first time when it was on the Syracuse 5. Not real fond of it here.
But, Mike, they had that alignment where number 3, who happened to be our speedster friend, LaTroy Oliver, was lined up outside. We'll go to Michelle.
Yeah, Michelle's got some thoughts on Casey.
Okay, talk to us, Michelle. I'm completely blowing this thing.
Well, no, I think you're just flabbergasted by what you're seeing down here, and I think that Phil Fulmer probably is too. You know, we asked Phil Fulmer about Casey Clausen. He said his biggest asset is his confidence which can work against him once in a while, but it's usually a plus. He says he hasn't totally grasped the entire system, but twice he won ball games in 2-minute drill situations last year as a freshman. And once he totally dedicates himself, you're probably looking at a first-round draft pick. Casey Clausen hasn't looked like that today, but perhaps it is a little bit of overconfidence, Coach.
It's hard to believe after coming off the Cotton Bowl. This is one thing Philip talked about. He said the Cotton Bowl could be good for us because there's no way we could be overconfident. But from the offensive standpoint, there's a lot of work to be done.
Well, only one more timeout the rest of the way for Tennessee. Now ready to go on 2nd and 10, the 48-yard line of the Orangemen. A lot of this in the early going, swinging it out to wideouts. They'll try to use their speed in the open field, but never much open out there for Dante Stallworth. Charles Burton hit him first.
Well, they're really sticking to their bread and butter plays. Josh Thomas again, though, the 6'6" defensive end for Syracuse, got his hand on the ball again. This time, they still get the completion, though. The bottom of the screen here, see 97. Watch him get his hands up, tips it again. Good concentration by the receiver hanging on. Big man getting his hands up. Nice job.
Now 3rd and 7. Watch Freemy from a stand-up spot. They double team him, keep him off Clausen, and the throw over Parker.
Pass intended for Parker.
Not one of the more impressive tosses of the day for Casey.
You get the feeling that over a quarter left to go, and certainly Syracuse 2 touchdowns and 2 extra two-point conversions away from tying it. That if Tennessee can pull this one out, there won't be a lot of hooping and hollering after it.
Well, what you hope in a game like this is you find a way to win, try not to make any more mistakes, and then get on the practice field about 6 a.m. tomorrow morning and stay there for a week.
Malik Campbell waiting for this kick, and they come after Colquitt, who does a little acting, does not draw the flag. And the 45-yard kick goes for a touchback.
Oh, I'd say that's an Emmy Award-winning performance.
How about Oklahoma Air Force, Reese Davis?
Nate Hibble suddenly looks just like Dan Marino because he's throwing to Mark Clayton, redshirt freshman receiver, catching a touchdown pass. Second touchdown pass of the day for Hibble. Quentin Griffin's over 200 yards rushing. The Sooners are booming.
No, it's not Dan Marino's Mark Clayton, is it? He had some extra eligibility.
Dan Marino reference.
Well, the theory of a good time to catch Oklahoma up in smoke.
Good thought, though, Dave. Good effort out of you early.
It's not a good time, Dave.
We've seen Nunes all the way at quarterback. No R.J. Anderson. Starting to wonder if that might become a thought for the Syracuse coaching staff with the inability to move. Mungro gets about 4 yards on this first down pick.
George DeLeon, offensive coordinator for Syracuse, is one of the outstanding football coaches in offensive football and has been for many, many years. Don McPherson did a great job, Marvin Graves, then of course the great Donovan McNabb. It's hard to understand how this could be happening to his offense.
Virtually no passing game. 5 of 15, 39 yards and interception. Anytime here in a crowd, another drop by Tyree. Nunes dropped again.
Pass intended for Tyree.
Right in Tyree's hands. That time he was right at the sticks. A good route right at the sticks. Found an open spot. Sat down. You saw him hit himself in the chest. He knows it's his fault. Got to make these plays. You're down this score. Got to make those plays. Watch him come back, find the hole. It's a nice job of finding the hole there. Hits it right in the hands.
And Tyree, a big play receiver last year. Deciding catches against West Virginia, Temple, Pittsburgh. A leading receiver last week, 7 catches against Georgia Tech. And all R.J. Anderson's done today is stand and watch Nunes struggle. Timeout call by Syracuse. Troy, 2 of his last 10 through the air for 10 yards. First Orangeman timeout. 1:51 to go. I mean, you can't really get less out of your quarterback spot unless you make
I think we may need to go to our backup fullback and hand it to him. I mean,
Going to need a face mask, though.
Looks like he's played without a face mask for a while there. Well, you know, Nunes last week had the most attempts he's ever had at 32, so he's had to put it up in the air some. He has not been successful doing that today.
A little bit later on ESPN, 7:45 Eastern. The UCLA Bruins, who began the year ranked 15th. 1,000-yard back, Deshaun Foster back. Number 25 Alabama with Freddie Millens and new head coach Dennis Franchione off a 3-8 disappointment a year ago. Coverage begins with College Game Day scoreboard at 7 Eastern. And Bill, you like the chances of Dennis Franchione in Tuscaloosa?
I think the Alabama family is going to back him. I think they're going to get beyond the thing of thinking that they have to have somebody from within the Bear Bryant clan. And I think Franchione is the guy. I really do. I think they'll do an outstanding job, and I think he'll start tonight. How's that for third down conversions? I mean, it's really unbelievable. Two outstanding offensive traditions here. Really struggling.
Total of 1 converted on 21 chances between both offenses. Nunes with a shoe loose, won't convert this one either. The man whose motor is never off, Will Overstreet, finally with the sack.
And he's coming up holding his hand coming off the field. Nunes is hurt again. Overstreet got him on the backside and landed on him again. Again, Nunes, not a very big quarterback at 185 pounds, dancing around back there trying to find the open receiver. Overstreet stays after him.
Ooh. And remember, the previous hit by Omari Hand on the last possession already had Nunes holding that left hand or left wrist. So they really have to check him closely now. Schaefer with the kick returned by Parker, out of bounds at the 48. 45-yard punt by Schaefer.
Parker just ran on out of bounds because he didn't want to get caught by R.J. again.
And R.J. getting loose over there.
I will be shocked if R.J. Anderson isn't warming up now. I mean, Nunes is taking a beating again. He's not accurate with his throws, though to his credit, he's had a few dropped as well. But you have to wonder if a change is going to be made. Watch him land. He'll land right on him. The left arm's tucked under there. And let me tell you what, that's 260 pounds is Overstreet, but when it's coming in the air and landing on you, it feels like a heck of a lot more than that.
19 of 32 last week, 5 of 16 this week. Play fake, and Clausen ready to go deep to Stallworth, and defended this time by Will Hunter. Same play, first play from scrimmage, worked for a 37-yard Tennessee touchdown. That was against Willie Ford, and the senior Will Hunter gets a hand on this one as Nunes heads to the Syracuse locker room.
This is the way you play man press coverage. You keep the receiver on your hip. Will Hunter, number 30, running stride for stride. And when the receiver's eyes go up, your hand goes up. There, nice. Keep the receiver on your outside hip. Beautiful man coverage.
Final minute of the quarter, and Clausen with Freeney down around his ankle somehow gets the pass off. And Jabari Davis will lose 3 yards. Freeney won't get a sack, but he ought to.
Yeah, you know what? I thought they were going to blow it dead on that one. He had control of him, but, you know, there's a pass completion for -3 yards, so I'm sure he'll take that as well. That man is just everywhere on the field. Makes it very easy for our cameraman who to zoom in on.
Look, you're in Tennessee now. You've got to learn to say that properly. That's everywhere.
Everywhere?
Yes, he is everywhere on the football field. Try that.
He was everywhere on the football field, especially on Casey's legs.
You're hopeless. You're from Ohio. You speak too well, man.
Let's be good.
Maybe the last play of the quarter. This one intended for Parker, over Parker and Willie Ford.
Perfect,
good coverage.
yeah, perfect man coverage. Now the corners are getting the feel for this thing.
So when the fourth quarter begins, Tennessee will have to kick, and we'll look for R.J. Anderson to be in charge of the Syracuse offense.
ESPN College Game Day, presented by Discover Card. Now 90 minutes.
Wow. I know. She's gorgeous. Want to get noticed? Grab a Miller Lite. It's Miller time.
That wasn't in the movie, was it? No.
You take care of your engine, right? Change your oil every 3,000 miles. I don't think so. You don't have the time. And you push your luck, blowing off everything you were taught. Better start using reformulated Quaker State. Protection beyond 3,000 miles under any driving conditions. So your engine won't stop you. 'Cause this is no place to find out you've been a bad boy. Reformulated Quaker State. What more do you need to know?
Freeze! Officer Carrot Top here with my partner. Now, if you're gonna make a collect call, pick up the phone and dial down the center with 1-800-CALLATT. It's free for you and cheap for them.
Save big bucks on every call. Just dial 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls.
Wendy's makes late nights great nights, serving up your favorites.
Hello? Get a Wendy's Classic half-pound double with cheese, even late, because our pickup window's open late.
A big Wendy's thank you goes out to the man in the red minivan.
You take care of your engine, right? Change your oil every 3,000 miles. I don't think so. You don't have the time. And you push your luck, blowing off everything you were taught. Better start using reformulated Quaker State. Protection beyond 3,000 miles under any driving conditions. So your engine won't stop you. 'Cause this is no place to find out you've been a bad boy. Reformulated Quaker State. What more do you need to know?
The power of cheese.
Hey, Mr. Peterson. Hey, Jack.
Back at Neyland Stadium, Knoxville, Tennessee, for the start of the fourth quarter. Dave Barnett, Bill Curry, Mike Golick, and Michelle Tafoya. It's 19-3 Tennessee. But neither offense did a thing in the third quarter, and the fourth begins appropriately with a punt by Dustin Colquitt, and it's fair caught at the 18-yard line by Jamel Riddle. 36-yarder. Let's go down to Michelle Tafoya.
Well, Dave, you saw Troy Nunes walking into the locker room, kind of holding his left arm suspended. Nothing definitive yet, but team trainer Tim Neal has told me he did injure his left wrist, Nunes, and they are taking him in for precautionary x-rays. We'll keep you posted.
All right, so the Plainville, Connecticut sophomore, R.J. Anderson, who started last year against West Virginia, Temple, Miami, and Rutgers, injured against the Mountaineers. And that knee he heard in that game, they said, really killed his progress in the eyes of the coaches for the rest of the 2000 season. He takes over a slumbering Syracuse offense and scrambles out of trouble. A key block at the 20, and out of all that, he'll gain about 4 yards. Could have been much worse. And the game track through 3 quarters. For the Tennessee quarterback, Casey Clausen, he started with a touchdown pass and has not done much since then.
Sure looked pretty from the beginning. Syracuse, it has it. They were still in the game, still are. Nick Romeo with the bad snap over Nunes' head with their third turnover led to a Tennessee touchdown.
Yeah, and the touchdown came on a nice run by Travis Stevens. Not very well blocked, but a lot of good running by number 34.
In the third quarter, Syracuse -6 total yards. Tennessee only 5 total yards, and they did not make a first down. This will be close to the first down on the carry by Diamond Ferry.
Now, men, whatever we expected coming into this contest, whatever we said in the open, we didn't expect this. We didn't expect both these offenses to absolutely go into reverse for much of the day.
Can never be an excuse, but is there at all, can you see it from the Tennessee side being the first game, Bill, or not even this bad, though?
Well, maybe in the early going, maybe a couple of series, but at some point you begin to move the ball and to have some consistency.
Less than 1, maybe right at about a foot. Anderson about to run out of time on the play clock, and he sees it just before it gets to 0. That's their second timeout. With 13:58 to go. We'll come back for, again, third and a foot.
Mark, why is Grandma eating off the ironing board?
Why not?
This is a kitchen table, not a desk.
It's both now, and Dad's got a schedule for that.
Dinner's at 11.
Ish.
Marky, go work in your room.
There's no desk up there, and I can't stay awake. I just get in bed, it's like, out.
Would you like a room with a nice big workspace?
Great.
What's this look like? A Holiday Inn?
Hey, Grandma.
That's why I have that supplemental insurance.
What supplemental insurance?
Aflac. It's one that pays you cash for things like lost pay and other expenses. Want one? Aflac. Just ask about it at work, all right? What did you say it was? Aflac!
Aflac. Without it, no insurance is complete.
Revenge fueled him.
He's the most dangerous kind of man. He wants to be a musketeer.
Love inspired him.
I'm coming back for you.
Honor drove him.
What you do is most important for France.
I will kill him.
The story is legend.
All for one!
But the adventure is just beginning. The Musketeer, rated PG-13, at theaters Friday.
It's a place you want to be when it rains, as it did about an hour or so before kickoff. Now on third and a foot, they go wide and they lose yardage again. Tad Golden got outside in a hurry from outside linebacker.
Bill, I don't get that one, Bill. You've been running up the middle pretty good. You got less than a yard to go. I don't know. I just don't see that one. Go straight ahead, get your half a yard, move the chains, and keep it going.
Well, I couldn't agree more, especially with the way Tennessee was lined up. They were lined up in a straight 4-3 with a 1 technique and a 3 technique. You run toward the outside technique on the guard, and you make the first easy.
Third and a foot. Turns into another punt by Schaefer. Eric Parker. Maybe with a 44, but good field position.
Parker
Not much
on the return.
at all for Tennessee here in the second half.
24, where it's 1st and 10. Volunteers.
If you're looking for bright spots for Syracuse, not many. And the one clear leader in that category has got to be Freeman.
Oh, absolutely. Again, matchup situations there. A back trying to block him. He gets a sack. This one, nobody touches him. Give Syracuse defense credit for setting up that situation like that. Here, the sack, the fumble. On the ball is Freeney, 2 sacks, and a fumble recovery. There is a bright spot, but unfortunately, I think they'd rather take the win.
Lawson unable to generate a first down in the third quarter. In this direction, and the first completion to Jason Witten today. And let's check in with Reese Davis.
Duke and Florida State, you know, I say this often, you got to be sound in the kicking game, and Duke is not. Trey McDonald can't handle the snap. That thing gets loose. Term greased pig comes to mind. Little help. Woo, 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 woo. Other sound effects. Michael Boulware finally got it. William McRae scored. And then the freshman Jerome Carter blocks it, takes it himself, scores. Knowles up 17-6.
First game kicking mistakes, not uncommon. Not on 2nd and 3. And with that late surge by Cedric Houston on his second collegiate carry, he picks up enough for the first.
Well, you know, it's getting interesting when you get that much applause for a first down.
Well, they haven't seen it since the second quarter.
Wait a minute, listen to this. They're really excited.
They moved the chains.
They got into positive yardage for the half. And I'm not being cynical here. This is so unlike Tennessee to execute so poorly offensively. And the same can be said for Syracuse. Both defenses playing well.
A year ago, the second highest scoring offense in the Southeastern Conference. Only 19 today. Now Corey Larkins. Travis Stevens backups getting some carries. Jamil Dumas getting the tackle.
Josh Thomas again forcing the play. He's kind of an unsung player on that defense, 97. He doesn't get the tackle, but he certainly had a couple batted balls, some nice penetration. And again, the defense, just like last week, Syracuse defense against Georgia Tech, played well, gave their offense some opportunities, and the offense hasn't come up with anything. Doing the same thing again today.
Larkins, former Alabama 100 meters champion. Yet another Tennessee speedster. As the fake from Clausen, and then the deep ball off the fingertips of Dante Stallworth. Stallworth back in coverage that time by Willie Ford, the man he beat on the first play touchdown.
Now, if Clausen, I can tell you right now, with Randy Sanders, if Clausen were clicking, if he were confident, they'd be running these guys off and hitting them with some out cuts and some hitches, but they don't trust him to throw the short hitch passes, obviously, right now. So they're just sort of laying them out and slinging them deep. They'll hit one every now and then, but the corners know what's coming. It'd be easy to run them off and run some combination runs.
Back in the guns, 3rd and 10 this time. He left all the way, chased by Freeney. They missed him twice, but not the 3rd time. A desperate lunge by Josh Thomas. Up high around the shoulder pad, finally brings down Casey Clausen.
I tell you what amazes me, and that's 2 times Clausen has sidestepped Freeney. This is a man who sacked Michael Vick 4 times last year. Michael Vick, the most elusive quarterback in the country. Look at Clausen, steps again. There's Freeney coming up the middle. Comes in out of control. Clausen just sidesteps him.
I'll tell you, Josh Thomas is becoming the unsung. He's becoming the sung hero here. We're calling his name a lot. That was a big play.
Colquitt, much better job this time avoiding the touchback. That one comes down at the 15 of Malik Campbell.
At the 15.
And R.J. Anderson will have his 2nd series at quarterback for the injured Nunes when we come back.
Now from Dish Network, a great movie offer. Order Stars, and you'll get 7 additional premium movie channels free. That's 8 movie channels for the price of 1. All from the Stars Super Pack, #1 in new hit movies. Over 500 movie choices every month. 8 movie channels for the price of 1. Only $10.99 a month. The Stars Super Pack. 8 movie channels for the price of 1. Call now. 1-800-333-DISH.
Where do you want the washer?
In the laundry room. There's Dish Network here to install our new Dish 500 system.
Things are looking up.
Dish Mover, the easiest part of your move. With one call, be watching TV soon after you move.
Well, at least something's gone right.
Dish Mover from Dish Network. It's free.
Football Saturday. Blazing Bruin Deshaun Foster leads UCLA against the Crimson Tide. UCLA, Alabama, 7:45 tonight on ESPN.
Do you want the gig then?
Rockstar. Rated R. Starts Friday at a theater near you.
Troy Nunes emerging from the Syracuse locker room. Michelle Tafoya working on official word, but you pretty much get the picture there with that cast on the left wrist. He is out for a while. Anderson with the toss sweep for Munro. Knocked out a yard shy of the first by Julian Battle.
Those have been some of the things that have been working today for Syracuse. It's been the basic plays, which is surprising for a Syracuse an offense as diverse as Syracuse. The basic sweep and basic plays up the middle.
And the reason it worked, number 34, Chris Davis, the fullback, the lead blocker, right here in the middle of your screen, bides his time. Boom, right there. Nice job. A little better follow through, could have been even better.
Such a coach.
A bit of a bright spot, 84 yards, 41 carries. And a first down here to the 27.
Well, this guy Munro is the all-time leading rusher in the history of Pennsylvania high school football. So he wasn't exactly chopped liver coming out of high school, and he's done a nice job his whole career at Syracuse.
Guys, at what point are we looking, though, that it's got to turn into a passing game here? 10 minutes to go. You're down by 16 points. At some point, even though it's been working up the middle and around the outside in small chunks, they got to get it down the field more.
I think they got to run the option, and then they got to throw the play action off the option, and they got to take some chances. I think you're right.
Under 10 minutes. The offset eye play action. And Anderson with a pump fake had to get rid of it and couldn't. Will Overstreet, given enough time, will get to you. And Anderson gave him enough.
Will Overstreet not affected by the play action. There's a blocker on him, number 81 Tyree, who's not having the best day of his career. Anderson has to pull the ball down, and then when you have to pull the ball down, a guy like Overstreet, who's always on the move, will locate you.
You said it right there, always on the move. This is a defense that reads on the run, and that's exactly what Overstreet did.
They had a wide receiver blocking on him, and I'm not sure that you'd ever want that if you're the QB.
Sack and a loss of 12 yards. Play action again on 2nd and 22, and lucky that one wasn't picked off. Jackson wants an interference call on Teddy Gaines.
Yeah, and I think he might should have gotten one.
You think so? We'll see. Let's look together, shall we, Bill? And then we'll give our opinion.
Yeah.
I didn't really see that. I might need to see it five more times.
Down to Michelle for the word on Troy Nunes.
Well, it's what they call a chip fracture, not a true break, just a chip fracture. And after this play, Dave, I'll tell you how it happened.
All right, 3rd and 22 for his replacement, Anderson. Diamond Ferry out of the backfield. 2 wideouts left. That's where Anderson looks, steps up, fires another one through the hands of a target. Too much of that intended for Johnny Morant. Again, down to Michelle.
Well, Dave, when Nunes was sacked, he was holding the ball in his left hand. He fell on it, and so his body fell down on the ball on his wrist. A little bit of the bone has chipped off. That's, again, called a chip fracture. He's obviously out for the game, but they're not ruling him out for any lengthy period of time beyond this.
What would your guess be, Bill?
It's just impossible to tell.
Schaefer versus Parker to fair catch this one, 39.
Let me explain. The reason I say that is he's got a handoff with the left knee.
46-yard punt, 8:37 to go, and Tennessee hanging on with 16-point lead.
In the battle against athlete's foot, you got to have boom, tough actin Tinactin. Tinactin pump spray is clinically proven to stop the severe itching and burning of athlete's foot. Tinactin is so tough it even prevents athlete's foot. So get boom, tough actin Tinactin.
Excuse me? Dude, wake up. Hello? Yoo-hoo!
Just a reminder, Wendy's pickup window's open late, so you can get a classic half-pound double with cheese made fresh.
Forget something?
And eat great, even late.
Freeze! Officer Carrot Top here with my partner. Now, if you're going to make a collect call, pick up the phone and dial down the center with 1-800-CALLATT. It's free for you and cheap for them.
Save big bucks on every call. Just dial 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls.
No ordinary toothbrush can clean like it. Spin Brush, new from Crest. The only one with the spinning head and stationary bristles. Gives you what others can't. A superior clean for under $6. Crest Spin Brush, a better spin on clean. Guaranteed.
Jennifer Capriati, as she makes her run at the U.S. Open, go inside her life on the court and off.
She was the next Chris Evert.
Sports Century Friday.
I think the media is out of control.
From America's sweetheart to little girl lost.
Everybody is very quick to point a finger. Was she smoking marijuana?
Just wish I didn't have to talk about this.
Her miraculous comeback. Jennifer Capriati's Sports Century, the top 50 and beyond. 8 p.m. Friday, only on ESPN Classic. To get ESPN Classic, call 1-800-CLASSIC now.
ESPN2's presentation of college football is brought to you by Universal Pictures' The Musketeer, in theaters September 7th, and by College Game Day, presented by Discover Card, now 90 minutes, Saturday mornings at 10:30.
Story of the day, Tennessee's defense, Syracuse's offensive mishaps, or a combination thereof, and now the Tennessee offense will take over and try and grind a lot of that 8:37 off the clock, leading 19-3. Houston out of bounds. We send you to Reese Davis.
Guys, coming up in just a few minutes, we're going to take you down to the swamp where the #1 team in the land, the Mighty Gators, getting ready for Marshall to come in. Marquette Manuel getting a ride from his teammates. The senior trying to inspire his mates to have Marshall fear the swamp. We'll get you there in a bit.
All right. Well, near the 8-minute mark of this one, and then Marshall visits the Gators. SEC with the #1 team preseason, and this Tennessee team ranked 8th coming into this game. Nice rolling toss that time by Clausen. And pretty good pickup for Bobby Graham, 20 yards. Fans have waited a long time for something to applaud when the offense is on the field.
Well executed play. They sucked in Josh Thomas, the left defensive end. He's got contained. He's at the top right here. You're going to see him come down on the run. And, uh-oh, I'm going the wrong way. Nice pass by Clausen. That's outside of the first pass of the game, the best one he's had.
40-yard line of Syracuse.
Corey Larkins carries.
Up some time. Corey Larkins.
This is good for Tennessee in that they can get their young backs in there and get them lathered up. Corey Larkins, a redshirt freshman from Opelika, Alabama, also highly touted. Cedric Houston getting some carries, just getting lathered up, getting a feel for the football game, how it is to play at this level.
Tennessee offense in the second half, 27 total yards. But the defense has made it stand up. Motion out of Tyree, and just in time to beat the play clock. Green left side. All the way to the end zone. There's room for Larkins. First Tennessee touchdown. 38 yards to the house.
If you wonder why Corey Larkins was highly touted, you don't have to wonder anymore. It's about the most noise we've heard from this 107,000 in the last hour and a half. An unblocked tackler in the hole, a stutter step inside, and a bolt back to the outside, and about a 4-4 down the sidelines. And Mr. Larkins has established himself as a guy who can play. And once again, Tennessee's a man short on a special team. That's the third time today. Coach Fulmer will not be pleased with that.
Alex Walls keeps his PAT streak going. 50 in a row without a miss. Corey Larkins, 100-meter champ for the state of Alabama. This kind of speed. On the track or on the football field, it kills. It's just about killed Syracuse's hopes.
Stop your messing around. Stop your messing
Messy babies? No problem. Introducing new Bibsters, a first from Pampers. A disposable bib that's so absorbent they can drip and spill and dribble some more. Because after they mess them up, you throw them out. New Pampers Bibsters. Easy every step of the way.
Choose road. Validating tires.
BF Goodrich tires with traction advantage.
Approved.
For control you can feel, no matter what roads you choose. BF Goodrich tires. Take control.
You ever remember a time when Tennessee didn't have offensive depth? They have Travis Stevens starting at senior tailback, and behind him the speedy Larkins and the parade All-America true freshman Cedric Houston, the all-time Arkansas high school touchdown scorer.
The answer is no. The first time I've encountered Tennessee, honest to goodness, since 1960 when I was a freshman at Georgia Tech. We played them every year when I was a player and I coached against them. I've never seen them without great depth at wide receiver, tailback, and quarterback.
Well, I asked Coach Fulmer that when we were talking to him, are you ever in the thought process of a real rebuilding mode? I mean, it never seems like Tennessee is. Every year there's maybe 20, 25 teams that have a legitimate shot for a national title, and Tennessee is always there because they have that depth.
Except last year when they lost 5 juniors to the NFL draft, and I said, did you expect all 5? Right. He said, no, and that was tough. And that football, that is not a good team.
Well, that kind of,
it's not windy.
Kind of sums up the day, huh?
It's just a bad tee.
A bad tee?
Yeah, you got a
bad tee? What out of the lot down the line? You got a bad tee?
Well, just watch this. See, that's a bad tee. It's sliding. It's the wrong angle.
It's magic.
Don't sing, Mike.
I didn't really hit the key there.
So Leonard Scott over the hole for Colquitt. There's a hole. Return out across the 20.
Mungrove on the return.
Mungrove. Thad Golden made the tackle.
Larkins shows not only speed here, but marvelous football instinct. Nice block by the lead blocker, but number 6 McLean is right there in the hole, and he has left a bit of his equipment on the field with a little inside and back out, and then smoke down the sideline. Nice play for the first touchdown for Larkins.
98 National Championship team had Jamal Lewis, Travis Henry, and Travis Stevens. Now it's Stevens at the head of this tailback group. Anderson with a man open, beating double coverage and home. Johnny Morant for a touchdown. 74-yard touchdown for Syracuse.
Now, we've been hard on Morant. He's dropped balls today all day long. He has not looked good. But that was a tough catch. That's hard to adjust looking up over your head. 2 defenders there. A nice throw by R.J. Anderson, and Syracuse, we could argue, is back in this game somewhat if they can get them stopped. They can go for 2 and then get it back. Stranger things have happened.
Well, we just saw the first college touchdown by Larkins. Morant's second collegiate catch. Both of them in this game. And it goes 74 yards and home.
And Teddy Gaines can't believe it.
So 26-9 Tennessee. Anderson rolling on the try for 2. Out of room and then turns back, looks into the end zone. There's a marker down as Manley hangs on. Not been a good day for Ray Manley, but he may come up with this 2-point conversion depending on the flag.
I think you might have a lineman downfield possibly.
Yep.
I think it was Kevin Sampson, number 74. Once Anderson started rolling, I think the lineman was taken off to help block for him, and then Anderson pulled up and threw the ball.
Well, that's an old Syracuse play. Donovan McNabb worked it on Tennessee in '98. Pasqualoni cannot believe it. A lineman getting downfield. It's a full sprint right, and the last option on it, if everybody's covered to the sprint outside, is the tight end who crosses from the side of the sprint out clear to the other side, and he's almost always wide open. They've scored many, many times with that play.
So this try for 2 will come from the 8.
The errors are really almost incomprehensible in their numbers.
9 Orangeman penalties. 70 yards. Anderson through the hands of Maurice Jackson. Probably going to be hit immediately even if he makes that catch.
2-point conversion, no good.
Well, this one, DB never wants to let a receiver behind him, obviously, but when you're up 23 points, you can't let someone get behind you. Went for the inside fake. Good job by Morant going inside, then back outside. But the safety coming over the top. Never, ever, ever can you let anybody get past you.
Safety's job is to be deeper than the deepest in that situation. But he was also complacent, figuring there's no way they're going to throw the ball that well. And Teddy's in good shape. Teddy was not in good shape.
First college touchdown for the sophomore from Parsippany, New Jersey. Parade All-America. They did not redshirt him last year, even though he never caught a ball. He practiced all year with the first team, so they didn't consider the freshman year wasted, even though it cost him one full season of eligibility. One of the top 3 receivers in the country the year he was recruited. And the latest injury question for Syracuse is Keith Thump Belton.
Looks like Thump might have the same kind of injury that Troy Nunes has. Hopefully it won't be a break.
Well, 6:13 left. Syracuse, remember now, they've blown 2 timeouts. So they only have 1 left. And if this game gets close, that is going to come back, can come back to haunt you.
Well, we all know the odds on it getting close are not very good. They're going to have to recover an onside score, recover an onside score, and recover an onside and score. That's hard.
I thought you were just stuttering there for a minute. 3 times, huh?
I stutter a lot, but not that time.
Bill Fulmer, the winningest active coach in college football by percentage. 82.4%. This onside kick return by Parker. All the way to the 16 of Syracuse. And only LaTroy Oliver prevented that from being a touchdown. It's 30 yards on an onside kick.
And that was a fantastic kick, Bill, the special teamer that you are. I mean, that did the quick hop and then the big long hop going over 10 yards. Look at that thing up in the air. That's exactly what you want. Parker just picked it out of the air. What an athletic play that was.
Nobody went after the football. When that ball crosses 10 yards, it's anybody's ball. Nobody on the Syracuse team went for the ball. They just assumed that Parker would not catch it, and there should have been a safety right on the spot to keep him from running down the sideline to the 16-yard line.
Tennessee up 26-9. Larkins again getting loose, this time around the right corner. 2 carries in a row, 2 touchdowns.
This is supposed to be an inside play with Weary, the left guard, pulling to his right and kicking out, which he does fairly well. In fact, he's demonstrating he's going to pull right there. Look at the kick out. But the little guy bounces outside the fullback, and he has such incredible speed, he just runs by everybody. And the contained man for Syracuse was not where he was supposed to be. McClain beat for the 2nd time for a touchdown. Number 6, the safety.
Just stayed in bounds. What a breathtaking last 10-yard burst from Larkins there. Walls for the PAT. And again gets to enjoy looking up at the big replay board and reliving his 2nd collegiate touchdown at 33-9 Tennessee.
Un avion. Un avion. Un avion. C'est là, c'est là.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light.
Sushi.
Here at Cooper Tires Test Track, they're developing some pretty impressive tires.
Record time, Mr. Palmer.
Cooper Tires. Drive on. Number 8 Tennessee now stretching it out where most of these folks expected it to be. A margin of 24 points. Most of the day much closer. Corey Larkins has broken it open. Back-to-back carries for Tennessee touchdowns, 33-9. Under the 6-minute mark. Jackson. Return is getting closer to Florida State, Reese Davis.
Oh, I don't know, Dave. Florida State starting to show that considerable muscle. Nick Maddox, you know, he's bounced around tailback to wide receiver. Back at tailback, goes 51 yards to the house here. A few moments later, he caught a 27-yard touchdown pass from Chris Ricks. It's 31-6, almost at the half. just a few moments. We're going to get you down to the swamp as soon as you guys finish up. But Coach mentioned people getting lathered up. I think that's what those people are doing.
They're already lathered up.
Is that what you call that? That kid needs to do some sit-ups. Get some ups.
R.J. Anderson with the sweep, and Walter Reyes, redshirt freshman from Struthers, Ohio, with his first carry. Boy, this schedule is probably the toughest Syracuse has ever faced, and against ranked opponents, which they have most of the way. They were fine in '98, Donovan McNabb's last year, but since then, this is coming into today, they've lost all 5 against ranked opponents, averaging less than 7 points and only 221 total yards. And from here, it does not get easier. What really makes this the toughest schedule ever for Syracuse was the fact that, as this mark-off goes against them, Paul Pasqualoni allowed his team to vote on whether they wanted to play that kickoff game against Georgia Tech at the Meadowlands last week. And they voted strongly that they wanted to do it. They already had this trip to Tennessee, Auburn after East Carolina and Central Florida, 3 straight at home, but none of those gimmies at all. And then the conference trips include the top 3 preseason picks in the Big East. They go to Pittsburgh, to Virginia Tech, and to Miami.
Wow.
So all together, 4 top 10 opponents. None of them in the Carrier Dome. 9 were in bowls last year. Non-conference opponents all told 41 and 19, a combined record 2000.
You know, it doesn't surprise me that the players would vote to play. I mean, you don't find players turning down a chance to play or turning down a chance at some competition, Bill. I mean, does that surprise you at all? They would turn. I would have been shocked had it not been a unanimous vote to play them.
Well, especially playing in the state of New Jersey.
Right.
A place where Syracuse has made a living recruiting. They've done very well in New Jersey. And a lot of the guys are from there, and they wanted to go. They wanted to go play in front of their folks.
Pasqualoni said that, I think half joking, yeah, it was my mistake for letting them vote. But they were so into it that he decided, along with the rest of the coaches, that we need to build off their positive attitude and their willingness to sacrifice to get ready for that early game. Rambling throw incomplete, intended for Leverett. Kick it away with 5:30.
Well, if Dandy Don were here, he would sing "Turn Out the Lights."
The party's over.
He would.
He said not to sing anymore.
I beg you, Mike, don't do that.
Well, you just reach over and unplug his headset.
There's Nunes with the chip bone, and.
But I think the message that you're conveying, Dave, with this schedule thing is that the Syracuse staff and team have a tremendous job of it.
Good kick. Asking Parker up. Turn of about 9 yards to 31. 5 minutes, 18 seconds to go. 47-yarder that time.
So now for Tennessee, they go to Arkansas next week, and Arkansas coming off win over UNLV, but their offense was very inept. Their defense played very strong, much like Syracuse in their first game. So Tennessee kind of getting the same taste as far as how an offense and a defense have played for their opponent.
We have a game 9 Eastern, 8 Central from Fayetteville next week, and then they go to Florida, and they have not won in Gainesville in 30 years, 1971.
Like I said, this offense needs to be out there in the morning about 6 if they're going to go to Gainesville in 2 weeks.
LSU, Georgia, Alabama after that. Tennessee does not have easy pickings in 2001 either. Oh, Travis Stevens backups getting some carries here in the second half, and he's mostly rested. This time, Derek Tinsley, true freshman out of Marietta, Georgia.
There's a story about Coach Bear Bryant. He had a team that played against Southern Miss and didn't play well, but they won, and he had them out there at 6:30 the next morning on Sunday morning. They practiced till Sunday school time. Then he said, any of you guys that are Christians, y'all go on to church. The rest of us are going to keep practicing. He said every one of them converted on the spot.
Boy, what a great method of evangelism that was. Bear doesn't get enough credit for that part of his effectiveness. The middle on 2nd down and 7. Should be enough for a first for Tinsley. We go down below to Michelle.
Well, since you guys have been doing a little singing upstairs, I thought I would chime in with this note. Inside the Tennessee locker room, there are a number of inspirational phrases painted on the wall. One of them says, let's have fun, let's win, and let's sing in the locker room. Now, I think they're probably going to win. I don't know how fun it's been, and I definitely don't think they're going to sing in the locker room. But let's hope if they do, Golick, they don't sound like you.
Well, let me tell you, Michelle, that offends me and hurts me deeply. All right, maybe it doesn't, but you know what? She's right. They are not going to sing in this locker room. This is going to be a, yay, we won. Coaches, I would imagine, are going to be working a little bit tonight. And you're right, Bill. I agree with you. The players are going to be watching some film, getting over their bumps and bruises, and getting after it tomorrow.
The best time to jump a football team is when they win. And
absolutely. Absolutely.
Coach Chavis, he doesn't have as much to say about his defense because they played hard and reasonably well, but the offense has got so much work to do if they expect to go to Florida. And, of course, they still got to play Arkansas. That's no gimme.
Well, John Henderson led defensive line. Talked about at the outset being so unusual in that they are dominant against the run and they rush the passer so well, and they lived up to their billing.
They did, but they really didn't get much competition. I mean, Syracuse has the kind of talent and the scheme that could have given them a hard time, and yet Syracuse never gave itself a chance.
Really feel like I need to redeem myself. Play some music so I can sing or something.
Who are you talking to?
Hunter. Michelle, I guess she's the one who ripped me, so.
I think Michelle's gone to the parking lot, and I don't think anybody else is going to crank up a guitar for you.
Well, I can't reach it, but you can. His volume button is right over there. Second down and 9. Tinsley, who sat until this Tennessee possession, and that one goes 13 yards. He's got another first down. So, I don't know. The way it's finishing up, maybe Tennessee will have something to sing about.
Yeah, I still think, again, we have a lot of backups in here, and I think they made enough mistakes in this game that will keep them from singing and keep Coach Fulmer on their backs pretty quick.
The coaches will absolutely work them over. Look, we won the game, fine, but don't think for a second that this is going to be acceptable, and they will use this to good advantage.
Fulmer will be 50-4 lifetime here at Neyland Stadium. And all 4 of those losses to teams ranked at least 6th in the country or better. Cedric Houston in a true freshman tailback tag team now with Tinsley.
And I'll make this observation. The offensive line that was considered to be a strength coming into the season has not knocked many people off the ball today for Tennessee. These runs have been individual efforts by these young backs, bouncing to the outside and making long runs. So the guys up front got some work to do. The quarterback's got some work to do. And I assure you, in the kicking game, I mean, they've had 3 occasions with 10 men on the field, so they got plenty of things to address.
They've gone 5 deep at tailback. Stevens, Larkins, they've both scored. Houston, Jabari Davis, and now Tinsley. Syracuse reacts well that time on the carry by Houston. And we're checking with Reese Davis of Virginia Tech.
All right, guys, some terrible news for Lee Suggs, the outstanding tailback from Virginia Tech. Tore his left ACL and also tore the medial meniscus ligament. An MRI showed that today. Now, he is going to have surgery, arthroscopic, on Monday to repair the medial ligament. If the ACL injury is determined to be an old injury, there's a chance he could come back this year. If it is a fresh one that occurred today in the 52 win over UConn, Lee Suggs will be done for the season. Some terrible news for the Hokies. We're going to get you down to the Swamp in just a few minutes. Florida and Marshall, they have started to play. The Gators returning a punt. And we'll keep you up to date on everything going on there until Tennessee and Syracuse are finished, gentlemen.
All right, we're down to the final minute here, Reese. And Tennessee will take another season-opening win, 33-9.
Boy, is that bad news for Virginia Tech, though. I had a chance to talk to their coach, Frank Beamer, a few days ago, and he really talked about Suggs and Andre Davis, their wide receiver out there, as guys who will be able to carry this offense a bit because Michael Vick is gone, and to lose that as a weapon really, really hurts.
And we saw his son, Shane Beamer, who's a graduate assistant here on the Tennessee staff on the defensive side. He was at Georgia Tech last year, getting a real good football education, young Shane Beamer. He'll be a good coach, too, like his dad. Just hope the best for Lee and hope there's a quick recovery.
Tennessee's called its last timeout with a 4th and 1 and 27 seconds to go.
Well, let's look at the positives for them. They get the win. They get the first game under their belt. We've already talked about how they're certainly going to hear it in the film room. Doesn't look like they've had any injuries. We haven't seen anybody really go off that looked like it was a bad injury. So, again, you look at the positives. And Coach Furman will do that, too. It's not like, you know, it's going to be Armageddon in the locker room and in the film room. They are going to get on these guys, but they will point out the positives because if they are going to be 1-0, they're in the top 10. Those are positive things that they can build on.
I do think, though, Mike, that they're going to have to address this air of complacency that we sense throughout the football game, because they're going to look at the young guys are going to look at this score and say, you know, we really are pretty good, and they did not play well offensively, except for the outstanding efforts of the young tailbacks.
Travis Stevens, the old tailback, the senior, 14 carries for 111 yards and a touchdown. Casey Clausen, 13 of 26, 132 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. And the 4th down try here, needing 1. And they'll get it. And as soon as they get the chains moved, that should do it for Syracuse and Tennessee. So the Orangemen start 0-2 this unprecedented schedule, facing Paul Pasqualoni and the Orangemen. 3 straight at home, but Central Florida, East Carolina, and Auburn all capable of pulling off the road win in the Carrier Dome. And the next time they hit the road will be Big East play at Rutgers. Will Fulmer goes to 85-18 as the head coach of Knoxville, 15-4 at home, as Tennessee starts with a victory, 33-9, our final. So long from Knoxville, where again the Vols win it 33-9. For Mike Nolan, Bill Curry, and Michelle Tafoya, Dave Barnett reminding you Marshall in Florida up next. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com, your home for college football on the internet. Now let's go to Mark Jones and Chris Spielman. Gentlemen.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Welcome, everyone, to Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, Florida Field, a.k.a. the Swamp, where #1 Florida is going for it on 4th down and short on its opening possession of the ball game. Rex Grossman. Complete to Gaffney. 1st down and goal to go.
Well, Mark, that's the play they hit in the beginning of the game. Rex Grossman hits Jabbar Gaffney on a 7 route. It's a gutsy call. They didn't have an outlet receiver in the flat, so that was all or nothing. Now, the Marshall corner was in good position to make the play. Gaffney used his body and shielded him well.
Jabbar Gaffney coming off an all-SEC performance a year ago as a redshirt freshman. He was the National Freshman of the Year, and he has overcome a lot of personal obstacles in the process. Grossman a season ago, 21 touchdown passes, also 1st team All-SEC. And he is the one that has emerged from this quarterbacking controversy for the last 3 months. Grossman into the end zone, incomplete, intended for Gaffney. Let's take a look at the skill position players behind the quarterback, Rex Grossman. Ernest Graham, who had a couple of key runs just a few moments ago.
Yeah, Ernest
brought to you by Bud Light. Graham, Snell, Walker, Gaffney, and Caldwell.
Well, Gaffney's the guy. He's an All-American. He showed on the first couple of plays. He knows how to run routes. He knows where he is on the football field. He can bring the ball in.
Those guys going to have to make some plays for Steve Spurrier's gang today. Toss to Graham. And Graham slides down to the 8-yard line. Up front, the offensive line for Florida, big and talented. Mike Pearson, an Outland candidate, on the left side of the line at tackle.
Well, you like 2 big tackles. The other guy, Max Starks, son of Ross Browner, former All-American from Notre Dame.
The Marshall defensive line, Chris, a little bit undersized.
Well, they're going to have to hold their own now and watch for them to get tired, because Florida will drop back to pass. You get tired rushing the passer.
Ralph Street, number 34, one of the leaders up front, rushing off the edge. 3rd and goal for the Gators. Grossman under duress this time. Intended for Gaffney, incomplete, and no flag on the play. Terrence Tarpley, the defender on the play for the Thundering Herd.
One thing that helped Marshall in that situation, they had 8 on the 8-yard line. it's easier to defend because you usually back in the end zone as an extra man.
Look at the new 4-4-3 defense. There's the 4 linebackers. They're going to have to cover a lot. And the secondary people, just 2 cornerbacks making their first starts. Satterwhite and Terrence Tarpley. Crocker is the guy they think is all conference. In to attempt the field goal now is 93, Brent Talcott. And his inexperience showing. That was one of the concerns for Spurrier coming into this game. He misses from 25 yards. Brent Talcott.
Yeah, Mark, if you were here early and you watched him warm up, he wasn't booting that ball with a lot of confidence.
So a very inauspicious beginning for the Gators on its opening drive. We'll be back right after this.
Muchas gracias, guys. Bartender, Bud Lights for the band.
Oh, no.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Lots of places offer upgrades. Usually you spend a little more, you get a little more. But in Gateway Country, it's different. You get a lot more. And right now it's free. When you buy a Gateway Essential 950C featuring the Intel Celeron processor, you get an extra large monitor plus a CD burner. That's 2 big upgrades, all for just $7.99. Now who could beat that? Who'd even try? Offer ends September 9th, so stop by or call today.
The world is a beautiful place, but not when your eyes feel dry, gritty, irritated. Protect them with Refresh brand eye drops. Refresh is no ordinary eye drop. First, Refresh relieves dryness. Then Refresh forms a lasting shield of protection that keeps irritation out and moisture in. So get relief and protection with the #1 brand recommended by eye doctors. Refresh brand eye drops for relief and protection that lasts.
ESPN2's presentation of primetime college football is brought to you by Cisco Systems, empowering the internet generation, and by New Balance, makers of performance footwear and apparel.
Mark Jones, Chris Spielman, Holly Rowe back at Florida Field. Well, here's where the story begins for Florida. Jeff Chandler is serving a 1-game suspension as part of a deal to get an extra year of eligibility. That meant number 93, Brent Talcott, is 1/3 of the kicking troika for the Gators. Matt Leach is another one, as is Matt Piotrowicz, who does kickoffs. Chandler, number 49, is the one that is serving the suspension as part of the deal to get that 6th year of eligibility. On 1st and 10, flag down. Number 11, Chanston Rogers, is brought down, and this one might come back for Marshall.
Anytime the white hat throws a flag, you know it's a holding call against the offensive line user in the backfield.
Look at our starting quarterback for Marshall, brought to you by Bud Light.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
Byron Leftwich with some people that have to step up, elevate their level of play, and make some big ones today, especially the receivers.
Yeah, Darius Watts is his go-to guy. He's the only guy with the experience coming back from last year's receiving corps.
Ball all the way back to the 10-yard line. 1st down and 21 to go. Marshall had to punt on its first possession. They run it again. Rogers is brought down to the 17 by Alex Brown, the defensive end for the Gators. The offensive line for Marshall has to protect better than they did a season ago, Chris.
Yeah, they do. And this big fella right here, number 75, Steve Shulo, has Alex Brown. That's a handful, and he's got to step up to the challenge.
Alex Brown, number 13 there, rushing off the end. The 6'4 senior decided to come back for his senior season. He eschewed the NBA, the NFL draft. He's a good athlete, probably playing the NBA too. Leftwich under pressure and brought down by Alex Brown.
Yeah, one of the questions about Alex Brown was his effort level right there last year. Now this year he's committed to giving great effort level. He gave great effort there and made a sack on a hustle play.
Okendo, Davis, and Natil, the linebackers. A lot of starts between them. Davis coming back after missing a season with a knee injury. In the secondary, there are 30 career interceptions between those 4 players. They have a chance to maybe be the best ever.
And they're the best in college football now. I'll tell you that. Just what I see this little of the game. They can play.
3rd and 14 for Leftwich in the herd. Dumps it off to his back, who is rocked in the process. Greg Kellett stung by Benny Alexander, the starting cornerback who fills in for Cromartie, who's out for the season.
Yeah, there was a little bit of concern on John Polk's part about Benny Alexander, but I'll tell you what, he's a senior, he's coming out, he wants to play, and watch the tackle. Boom, that's what you want. You got to hit those big guys low. And what I love to see, Mark, I love to see orange helmets flying the football. Anytime I see a defense run the football, that gets me excited. Sweat even more.
Spoken like a true linebacker. Head to punt. Florida can end up with good field position after this one, you would think. Lito Shepard back at the 40. Shepard trying to get to the edge. Pushed out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Lito Shepard giving them a little bit of the Lito shuffle. The Gators off to a great start when we come back.
You used all your quarters having a payphone, didn't you? Next time, dial down the center with 1-800-CALLATT. It's free for you and cheap for them. By the way, this one's hot.
Save big bucks on every call. Just dial 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls.
Oh, yes!
Want a job that makes you happy? Post your resume now. Monster.com.
You the monster.
Fresh off their upset of Colorado, David Carr and Fresno State battle Ken Simonton and the 12th-ranked Beavers. Oregon State, Fresno State, 9:30 tomorrow on ESPN2.
Today, NFL Sunday Ticket is going to give you any game you want. Today is Sunday. Today is your day. Have a nice day.
You ready for a cold one?
Yeah.
Is that cold enough for you?
It's cold. It's not Coors Light.
Brewed at the edge of freezing to lock in that Rocky Mountain cold taste. Coors Light. Ah, tasty.
Pull my claw.
Welcome back to Florida Field. Mark Jones along with Chris Spielman and Holly Rowe down on the sidelines. Florida looking at 1st down and 10 from Marshall's 32-yard line. The Gators and Herd tied at zeros. Neither team scoring. Florida missing on a 25-yard field goal attempt just a few minutes ago.
Checking the play again.
Grossman on the post and knocked away from Gaffney. Now, just 48 hours ago, the NCAA rocked the Marshall Athletic Department, in particular its football program, suspending 12 football players, 10 of them for 3 games, 2 of them for 1 game. And you see the players denoted are the ones that are out tonight, Wallace and Hicks. There is an appeal pending by the school, which will be heard next week by the NCAA. But there is no question it has had effect on Marshall. Set Second and 10. Grossman open to Gaffney. Went right back to him. First and 10 from the 7-yard line for the Gators.
Well, Florida spread the field that time. They lined Jabbar Gaffney up in the slot. What that does is match him on a safety or a slower linebacker. Now, if you're playing linebacker, you need to get depth, especially if you're playing cover 2. They were playing cover 2. The linebacker didn't get depth. Rex Grossman recognizes it, tosses it over the head.
Chris, Florida with so many talented receivers. A toss into the boundary. Graham battling. Touchdown, Florida.
That's effort. That's a guy who wants to score and who knows how to score. All started with field position, Mark. Marshall can't play on their side of the field.
And punt return by Shepard. Set up a short field. Tonkin for the extra point. After missing a field goal, he knocks this one through. And the Gators, in front of the hometown fans, lead 7-0. Ernest Graham last season averaged 5.6 yards per rush. Did a good job here, Chris.
You see Ernest Graham right here. One thing that makes the back good is vision and power. Now, if you're Marshall, you need to come up and make the hit, especially on the 5-yard line. You'll see Max Yates right here coming in. Antoine Jones coming in. Goins coming in. You guys got to come up and you got to make a hit. And if you're close to the goal line, you better take him high in the head, not down low, because one thing a good back does is they always fall forward. Hit him in the head, boys, not low.
A short drive resulting in a touchdown. Let's go downstairs to Holly Rowe.
Right now, the mood on the Marshall sideline is a little bit deflated. They came out and were really physical, mixing it up, actually getting into quite a bit of pushing and shoving with Florida, as if to say, we're in your house and we're going to make a statement. But that last score has definitely deflated them. Byron Leftwich met his defense as they came off the field to try to get them to keep their heads up.
Leftwich, no doubt the beacon of leadership on that team. And, you know, you go back to the leadership of their head coach, Bob Pruitt. Yesterday, when we had a chance to meet with him, Chris, he really was very humorous, very loose, very animated. Didn't seem like the whole situation was bothering them too much, although he says it was a bit of a distraction. But his team, you would think, would take his cue and come out loose. So far, they find themselves behind 7-0. This is Josh Davis on the return. And Davis is brought down at the 24.
You know, one thing Marshall's got to get used to, and they'll get used to it as the game comes on, is the speed.
Profit gathering, missing. And Morris on the back of Glover.
There was a case where Profit had his big men running, probably could have dumped the ball back down inside to get something a little easier. But that jump shot about, even though he has good range, it's not the shot that he needs now.
Jason Floyd, noted three-point marksman coming in for the Yellow Jackets. And Matt Harpring with only 3 points to the bench. Here's Georgia Tech trailing by 6, Billy. Their big gun on the bench without a huge effort offensively so far, and yet within striking distance.
And without question, Georgia Tech would have to win, I think, at least this game to get in the NCAA tournament. So a lot riding on this ball game for them. Maryland probably going to be one of those top 4 seeds.
Floyd off his foot. Under 10 to go in the first half.
Maryland packed back in its zone.
Shot clock, a big problem now as Glover drives. Machado, the ball out of bounds.
Nice effort by Machado. Would have been fine play because he hit Vines on the pass as well. Georgia Tech last year, remember, knocked out in the first round by NC State, who we'll be seeing in the next game. It was the beginning of State's run to the finals of the ACC tournament last season. Maryland was able to go 2 games into the tournament last year and then got in the NCAA tournament and lost the first round to College of Charleston.
Elliott through Martisic's hands. Morris throws it back in. The Terps have 11 seconds on the clock.
That touched everything but the rim.
Profit. Wide left. Bartosic, short. Vines collects it for Georgia Tech. 22-16 Maryland. 8:45 in the first half.
Maryland back in that zone. Morris really a tough target to throw over out front.
Tech needs a bucket. They've missed their last 5, and they've had turnovers in each of their last 4 possessions.
They have Harpring on the bench. So where is that shot going to come from? Not there.
Another turnover. Profit. Elliott. Morris.
And Bobby Crimmins has to be really careful here. He's got his key player on the bench. He's not getting any scoring whatsoever. And Maryland opening up a nice working margin.
The Terps take it to a 6-point lead at 24-16, and Georgia Tech will take a 22nd timeout. Later today, here from Greensboro, the Wolfpack of NC State, winners over Florida State last night, to beat the number 2 seed, the Tar Heels of North Carolina. And then coming up tonight at 7 Eastern Time, the Clemson Tigers and the Wake Forest Demon Deacons in the 4-5 game, and what a battle that should be.
Well, again, we start talking about teams. This is such a strange year this year, with the league being highly rated as it is in every category by the NCAA Tournament Committee. And yet, because of North Carolina and Duke being so dominant at the top and so tough to beat, there's so many teams in this league find themselves in that precarious bubble situation, of which I think Florida State last night had theirs popped. So that game, Wake Forest Clemson, opening rounder for both of them, is really important.
From the corner, Floyd puts it in. A 2-pointer for Jason.
Good skip pass by Georgia Tech. Right over the top of the zone. Spivey thinking that they're still in the zone, and so did Floyd, so nobody had profit of all people.
Stokes jumps it inside. Harpring back in, trying to dig it out of that post, knocked it away. We have a timeout on the floor in Greensboro. 7:36 remaining in the first half. Terps by 6. And we'll be back after this message from Bud Light.
Don't worry. I won't be long.
Oh, okay.
Hey, buddy. Over here. In petite.
Whoa. Have a Bud Light.
This is awesome.
Yeah, we love shopping.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light.
Food Line's been sponsoring ACC basketball now for 15 years.
Hey, mister, what's this Food Line you're talking about?
Here, let me show you.
Hey, look at that. Man, he's strong.
Pull in, fellas.
Wow, what a layout.
Hey, check out these prices.
Hey, want to see something fresh?
That's 3 points.
Okay, guys, time to practice. Hey, man, let's see you do that again.
Only this time, let's go to the beach.
Food Lion, extra low prices and more.
The WB's Dawson's Creek has 4 of the fastest rising stars on television. In fact, TV Guide couldn't pick just one to be on this week's cover, so they picked all 4. Dawson's Creek, only on the WB.
Tuesday at 9 on WB 36.
George's dad is a scaredy cat.
I saw that. It's the remote.
Tonight at 10.
A day that Bobby Crummins would like to forget. We talked about it earlier. March 7th, 1970. South Carolina lost to NC State in double overtime in the ACC title game.
John Roche was injured in the semifinal game that year. Frank McGuire often said, I shouldn't have played him in this game. Roche had a sensational year in 1970.
Is the Atlantic Coast Conference champion for 1970 with a dramatic double overtime victory over nationally third-ranked South Carolina in a stunning upset.
And our dear departed friend, Jim Thacker.
Jim Thacker on that broadcast. Obviously a great friend and one of the real reasons the ACC's recognition grew and grew by leaps and bounds with him calling those games.
And I mean, they look pretty much like they did when they played.
Well, I'll tell you, if a young guy's sitting out there saying, well, what is the key to becoming an ACC coach? It's being an ACC player who can't shoot the ball, because neither one of those guys were very good shooters. Now, the one guy on that list, Jackie Murdoch now, that played at Wake Forest, was an outstanding offensive player and defensive player, but a lot of guys on there weren't much shooting the ball. Lefty, Bobby, Gary.
Stokes misses. Elliott had it raked out of his hands by Maddox.
Bucky Waters. Hey, I'm going to go down this list here.
Jeff Jones.
He's pretty good. He was a fair shooter, much better ball handler than shooter. Glover. Good free throw shooter.
Spivey.
That zone keeps packing in further and further, Maryland. You can see the adjustment they're making with the zone until Georgia Tech can prove that they can put something up. Here's Glover with a steal.
And drives out of bounds to Tech.
You know, Glover has just so much power and speed and quickness that he just thinks that he can take it in on anybody. There's the turnover by Stokes, who has not yet scored, has turned the ball over, and as we said at the top of the show, and one of the keys, Maryland has got to get some play out of him offensively. Look at where that zone is. Everybody inside 15 feet. And Harpering's got to find a spot to get open, take some jump shots.
Glover for three. Jones just placed back into the game by Cremens. Tips it. Keeps it low. Glover jams on the drive.
And Kesey didn't even make an attempt to stop him. Tremendous explosion.
When you see the freight train coming, sometimes it's best to just get out of the way. Yasikavicius. Nothing but net.
That was pure, wasn't it? Beautiful follow through.
38% three-point shooter this season. He's got 5. 27-20 Maryland.
Maryland with that full court pressure again.
Maddox angles it up and in.
Nice job.
First field goal today for Michael Maddox.
You look up at this score, and you thought that Maryland has this nice working margin, and now it's down to 5.
Akizin. Nice cut by Elliott. And good recognition by Akizin.
It really was. Jones was doing a terrific job. Harpering fell asleep defensively. There's Crawford. He's just hanging around, waiting for that errant pass, and he can pick it off.
I've got to believe, Billy, that Maryland's one of the toughest teams to prepare for. They have so many different looks defensively.
And you know, the other thing, it's hard to practice against your second team trying to emulate what Prophet does, because he has that ability to just kind of lurk around there and make those steals. It's best almost to practice with 6 men on the defensive end to give you the feel for it.
Akizin with the dunk. He's in double figures with 10. Maryland by 6.
Georgia Tech doing a nice job passing the ball backwards to take off some of that pressure.
Harpering for 3.
He is not having a good first half at all on either end of the court.
Elliott for 3. That's good.
Bobby Cremens has to really be upset. He gets his star shooter finally open against that zone. Nothing happens, and Maryland counters with a 3 of their own by Elliott, who's stepping a little bit outside his range.
Inside Jones. Gathers and dunks it. 34-27. Alvin Jones with 8.
So far, it's been all the freshmen of Georgia Tech, Glover and Jones.
Harpering and Maddox have a combined 2 field goals. Elliott down the lane. 36-27 as Maryland equals its biggest lead.
Harpering bringing the ball up the court doesn't put him in a position that once they beat the zone to take a quick jumper from the outside. Almost all his jumpers have been beyond the 3-point line.
Alvin Jones over Akizin up and in.
10 points for Jones. Outstanding first half.
36-29.
That's about the 3rd time today he's elevated right over the top of Akizin.
Akizin missed this one. Rebound Prophet. Challenges Jones. And it's out of bounds and a foul on Maryland. That wasn't a, will go in the books, Billy, as a shot block for Jones, but it certainly was a shot altered.
An alter, without question.
Rodney Elliott's second foul. There are shot blockers and then there are shot changers. And Jones is both. Elliott's second foul and a timeout in Greensboro. 3:08 remaining in the first half. Alvin Jones with 10, and the Maryland big man, Akese with 10, and the Terps lead by 7.
This isn't just a car. It's a sign of how far you've come. So if it gets damaged, who do you want on your side? At Nationwide Insurance, we guarantee that your car will be fixed just the way it should be. Because we wouldn't have it any other way.
Nationwide is on your side.
Well, the South loves trucks, that's all there is to it. For work or play, just get out and do it.
The truck stop of the New South.
The new Dodge.
The truck stop of the New South. The truck stop of the New South.
Let's make it rough, make it tough, make it tight, make it right, make it full of surprise. It's Southern style. Make it ram in Dakota by a country mile.
The truck stop of the New South.
The new Dodge.
The truck stop of the New South.
The truck stop of the New South.